Hey, welcome everybody. I know I'm a little late. Sorry about that. We're always seem to be fucking late. But this is No Bones About Wrestling. I am one of your hosts tonight. My name is Asa, and of course I'm going to be joined by my always present co-host, Kay Fabulous, the hostess with the mostest. And this is one of my favorite things that we do because every year in September and October. We go through and we pick some of the old WCW Halloween Havoc shows. And so we're going to do several of them this year. They may not all be on Friday nights. We'll see. It'll depend on our schedules, but I will let you know in advance. I'll put a schedule as far in advance as I can. Um, Anyways, enough about all that. You're here. It's Halloween Havoc time. Um, and so, in Alexa, what time is it?
It's 7:56 p.m.
So in 4 minutes, we're going to go live. And so, just if you haven't already, bring up the WWE Network, or well, open Peacock, go to the WWE Network, go to WCW, and then go to Halloween Havoc, and then 1998. Very simple. If you have questions, just ask me in the chat.
Or just search Halloween Havoc.
Or just search Halloween Havoc. But what I said is a very easy way to do it. So, yeah, what do we got tonight? We got, and we're going to talk about some Halloween facts. We're going to talk about some WCW facts. Your computer. So what do we got? We got the main event is the undefeated world champion Goldberg taking on the War Games champion DDP. He won at War Games just the previous month in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, to get his title shot. And this is probably Goldberg's best match he had in his career, I think. But it's a very good match. We got that. We got Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the leader of NWO Hollywood, taking on the Ultimate Warrior in a rematch. 8 years in the making. The match is, I mean, it's really cool to see those two in the ring together, but the match is pretty dreadful. But we're going to watch it. What else have we got? Raven faces Chris Jericho. There may or may not be a belt on the line. The reason I seem unprepared is I didn't look at the card because I didn't want to be spoiled. Like the matches where I forget who wins, I want to just see who wins. So like I said, I didn't look at the card. I'm just telling you what I remember. We've got NWO Wolfpack leader Kevin Nash taking on NWO Hollywood member Scott Hall. Two best friends colliding. We've got Rick Steiner taking on Buff Bagwell. We have the appearance of a horror icon, and if you know who it is, please don't spoil it for the people who don't know who it is. Trying to think what other matches are on the card. Juventud Guerrera is in there somewhere. I think Rey Mysterio Jr. may be in there somewhere. And that's about all the card I can remember. But so the NWO was still big at this time. Like I said, so big that they've split into, there's NWO Wolfpack, which is the good NWO, and NWO Hollywood, which is the bad NWO. And also this show, you'll see, it's called WCW NWO Halloween Havoc. This was the only Halloween Havoc that had that branding. It was so big at one point, the NWO, they thought they were going to give them their own show. And at one point, they did have their own pay-per-view. It's called NWO Sold Out. And it's something to watch if you want to. It's very different. A very different presentation for a wrestling show. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, this is the only one, WCW NWO Halloween Havoc. And I think it was at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. They did several of them in Las Vegas there for a couple years. But yeah, it's a long show for WCW. It's about the length. It's less than an AEW pay-per-view. It's about 3.5 hours in length. And like I said, most of the matches are good. There's probably one or two stinkers on there. Like I said, the Hogan and Warrior is not good. But most of the matches I remember really enjoying it. I ordered this pay-per-view when I was a kid and really enjoyed it. And so I hope, we can all enjoy it together tonight. So, Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m. All right. Okay, fabulous. Are you joining us? Okay. Well, she's joining us at some point. This is pulled up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give everybody a minute. If you don't already have Halloween Havoc 1998 pulled up on Peacock, get it pulled up. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. As I said, you go to Peacock, WWE Network, WCW section, Halloween Havoc section, 1998 show. It'll say 1998, like season 1, episode 1. So that's what it is, the 1998 show. So I will assume everybody has it pulled up. So we're going to do a countdown here and get started. Oh, and here's K Fabulous just in time for the countdown. And our friend Dylan, there's K Fabulous, the hostess with the mostest. And our friend Dylan from the Long Island Wrestling Podcast, he may be joining us. I hope he does. He's a funny guy. He was with us on all these last year. But we'll see. I told him to show up even if he's late. So, all right, it's time to start. Hi, guys from UK. Hey, Will Rally Sport 1. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. I know it's like, damn, it's like 1 a.m. there, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Thank you for being with us.
Will hangs out with us often.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Always good to have you, sir.
All right, now we're doing the countdown. We're late now. So, all right. Get ready. Have your hand on the play button. And we're all going to start. And listen, throughout the night, if we're not synced up, I'm going to say, hey, we're at 10 minutes in. We're at 15 minutes in. We're at 20 minutes in, whatever. So if you get off somehow, you can get synced back up with us. Will says his favorite WWE woman is having a match. Oh, I guess on SmackDown tonight. Chelsea Dumpster match. I don't know what that means. Versus Mi Chen.
Is that Chelsea Green?
I think so. And Mi Chen, I think, is newer. Yeah. Sorry, we don't know a lot about WWE. What's going on right now? Do you watch Rampage 2? And Jay returning tonight. Yeah.
Exciting,
We usually watch Rampage taped. We usually will watch it on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what progress she has made since her return from Stardom.
All right, it's WCW time. It's WCW time. All right. And get your hand on the play button. For real this time, we're going to start in... What do I have to press here? All right, in 5. What? I fucked it up.
Yes, you did. 1 moment, please. In
Got
5.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. Halloween Havoc 98. Here we go.
Which one did we watch last night / earlier today?
We watched the first Halloween Havoc, 89, last night and today.
Shockingly un-Halloween-y.
Yeah, there was only a very little. There were cobwebs in the backstage interview area. There was some smoke on some of the entrances, and then there were some cobwebs on the main event steel cage. They were on the cage.
When you say there were cobwebs in the backstage area, I feel like that's misleading. There were more naturally occurring cobwebs in our home
No,
that were decorated in that backstage
You're misleading
area.
them about the cleanliness of our home.
There was like
one match I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
One match I didn't one match I left out when I was saying what matches we have tonight. We got for the US title, we got Bret Hart defending the US title against Sting of the Wolfpack.
Man, you didn't tell me this was brought to you by Snickers. We're going to be seeing Snickers ads all night, and I don't have any Snickers in our home.
Well, even right below us, you can see there's a Snickers ad right below us. So we are not paid by Snickers. I want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
The actual WCW pumpkin has a Snickers ad on it. So that's what we've used as our background is the gargoyle
but if Snickers
holding the pumpkin. What?
So if Snickers wants to give us money, they can bring it on.
Yes, they're welcome to give us money. Yeah.
You're not yourself without Snickers. See, look, I got the tagline down, right?
And Will says WCW was awesome. I agree.
Oh yes.
Until about 2001, it was pretty awesome. I agree. I love WCW.
I love the Demon. Have I seen this one before? Or they just
We've not watched this before.
Okay, so
No.
this is a reoccurrence of the demon.
Correct. Yeah.
Man, they have seriously, guys. If you compare 1989, as I said, to
Mhm.
this one, it's like a different world.
Oh yeah, they had a way bigger budget here. They were making money at this point.
Yeah.
Not so much in 1989. Very, very bare bones in 89. But yeah, the biggest hype up match on this is definitely, like I said, Hogan versus Warrior. People waited for it for years. They thought it would happen. They thought Ultimate Warrior would return to WWF and fight Hogan, or Warrior would go to WCW when Hogan went, and it didn't happen. And so 8 years later, we get a rematch of Hogan and Warrior. Kay has her awesome Ghostbusters slime sweater, her cardigan, yes.
Ghostbusters. Yeah, it glows in the dark. I haven't actually seen it glow in the dark yet because it's relatively new.
We'll try it at the end of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got my, just for the t-shirt check, I've got my fucking WCW Halloween Havoc shirt, which I just came in the mail today, thankfully. I have another one, but I'm too fat to fit in that one, so I've got one I can fit in now. I'm very glad.
I also have my Ghostbusters No Ghost logo earrings, and I stole Ace's awesome Slimer mug I got him for Christmas one year. Bam.
So in the October, when we do these in October, we'll have better costumes.
We'll have actual
These are actual costumes. Yeah. Tonight we're just dressed a little Halloweeny, but when the closer we get to Halloween, we'll do costumes. That's what we did last year, and that's what we'll do again this year. So
If y'all have any suggestions, throw them my way. 'Cause
okay.
normally, like once a year for Halloween, like I can handle that. But last year we did like 5 watch-alongs or something. It's hard to come up with 5 different costume ideas for like 1 year.
Yeah. The ones I think I was Ted Lasso one time.
Mhm.
That's the only one I can remember.
I was Timeless Tony Storm for one.
Yeah.
I was Thunder Rosa for one.
Yep. Very good, Thunder Rosa.
Thank you. Can't really remember the other ones.
We got the Nitro Girls here dancing for us. Gotta love the Nitro Girls. Oh yeah, Rick Steiner versus Scott Steiner on the card.
I'm for Scott. Oh wait,
He's telling us the matches. Okay. Ming versus Wrath, I didn't announce. And then Juventud Guerrera versus Disco Inferno. Winner fights Kidman for his cruiserweight title tonight. So someone will wrestle twice. We might have missed one in there.
Sorry.
There are a bunch of matches on this show. So
do you want me to look and tell you? Because I'll forget the results before we actually see the matches.
no, don't. Let's not spoil it. No.
It's one of the benefits of ADHD.
Here comes the dog-faced gremlin,
Who's that?
Rick Steiner,
Oh,
former tag team champion in WCW and WWF.
what a weirdo.
And later, in recent years, has revealed himself to be a transphobic asshole. Yeah. So.
Just fuck Rick Steiner.
Yeah, fuck Rick Steiner.
You can have your own opinion about things, but you don't get to be a dick, especially to people that are your coworkers, essentially.
Yeah. If you don't know the story, he verbally assaulted basically a trans wrestler at one of those autograph signing events where there's a bunch of wrestlers. I forget who it was.
Giselle.
Giselle?
I think that's her name.
I don't know who it was, but it was someone who was a man and is now a woman, and he was yelling at her and saying you're a man and this and that, and yelling at her as she left the room, and he made a big scene about it. And
that's even as she was walking to sit down at her table. It's not okay to make people feel uncomfortable and unsafe at work.
I know, I've been there for 2 years, bro. How they work is they...
Buff Bagwell.
What I'm trying to say, right?
We have his autograph.
Yep.
Let me be in your corner. Let me watch your back.
Buff Bagwell also a former tag team champion with Too Cold Scorpio and with the Patriot, I believe, in the Stars and Stripes team.
What was his team with Too Cold?
They did not have a name.
Oh, I hate that.
It's okay.
You form a tag team, make a name.
Anyway, so Rick Steiner is facing Scott later. And Buff is saying he's leaving the NWO and wants to be in Rick's corner for the brother versus brother match. So
It wasn't the chair, it was what was in these eyes. You look in these eyes, you can see a guy that is ready to watch your back. So you're telling me you're done with the NWO?
yeah, Buff, when he was with Too Cold Scorpio, he was known as Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
You're gonna be there, and you gotta get up in his face, smack the heck out of him, punch him, kick him, do whatever you gotta do. You're gonna do that for me. I'm gonna do it for you.
Remember when he had a top hat with his own face airbrushed on the top of the top hat?
Yes, I do.
That was fun.
And he had stuff airbrushed on his pants as well. Buff Bagwell loved some fucking airbrushing, that's for sure. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, I don't know how to do it. What do I need to press?
Okay. Press it. Just once.
We are 8 minutes 24 seconds into the show. 8:29 now. So just if you need to catch up, there you go. And we'll do that periodically, just so if you get off or people join, you can get with us on Halloween Havoc 98.
Or if you lose power. Hopefully everyone in the hurricane region of the United States stay safe and has power. For the watch on, well, and for the duration of the evening.
Yeah, we got hit in North Carolina. We got hit with I'm not sure if it was a tropical storm or tropical depression at that point, but there was a lot of fucking wind. It knocked down several trees on our street and knocked down a power pole, and there's live power lines on the road behind me, and they're supposed to come and fix it. So I will tell you, we may lose power at some point tonight, at which point we'll have to cancel the show and reschedule it. So I'm sorry in advance if that happens. I'm sorry, but there is a possibility that happens. But let's cross our fingers it does not happen. Probably happen right after I say that. So yeah, we got a world television title match coming up here. Chris Jericho defending against Raven, the former ECW star. And this was right about the time Chris Jericho, started to get pushed in WCW. Really started to get some good heel reactions and got a push. Yeah, guys and gals out there, if you got thoughts on WCW or Halloween Havoc, feel free to talk to us. If you agree with what we're saying, if you disagree with what we're saying, if you want to talk about something just WCW related, just post your comments. And I just ask, whatever you have to say, just be a nice person. Don't be a jerk. Because if you act like a jerk, you're gonna get kicked out and banned. So just be nice.
As everyone can see, I've been on a bit of a losing streak lately. Obviously, it's not been my fault. I've been the victim of circumstances, again, beyond my control. And I have 6 words to say about that.
6 words.
What about me?
What about Raven? Raven, very, I think one of the first wrestlers to have a depressed character.
And when I got here, I found I was scheduled in an unscheduled match. I wasn't informed ahead of time. Once again, forces working against Raven. But you know what? I don't feel like wrestling tonight. I wasn't told ahead of time, and I'm not gonna. Pull to Raven. Nevermore.
Now hold on just a minute here. He has to do this on the fly.
I forgot Chris used to wear his hair like that. I also forgot you said that was Chris Jericho. So from behind, I was like, what's this fucking jobber wearing?
Since you don't really feel like wrestling, to be quite honest with you, I don't really want to be here either. So if you don't want to wrestle, Doesn't bother me at all, but there's one problem. All the Jerichoholics in Las Vegas
Jericho's got some fans there.
to see me wrestle because Chris Jericho equals.
You said he's new at this point.
Chris Jericho
It's not new.
WCW, or
He's just,
and Chris Jericho equals.
for the first time, getting a push.
oh, sorry.
He'd been there for a year or two at this point.
I'm a little bit disappointed because I really wanted to wrestle against such an icon like Raven. I mean, what a talented individual, leader of the flock, the biggest gang of morons and idiots in professional wrestling.
Yes, he was the leader of Raven's flock, which were some weirdos. None of them are out there right now, but
That's fine.
Is a flock of ravens also called a murder, or is that exclusively crows?
I don't know.
Huh.
Jericho being mean. But yeah, Jericho was in the cruiserweight division for a couple years. And then in 1998, he got moved up to the heavyweight division because he was getting some really good fan reactions. Because his comedy came through and people really started to like him, even though he's a heel.
Heel Jericho is the best Jericho.
I think so. I think so.
Oh, into the head. I like that. Yeah, I know you do. That arrogant cover, that foot on the chest. Never is winning a match, but it never stops him from trying it again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these two are going to go at it. I mentioned Raven from ECW. He was the world champion in ECW. Chris Jericho was also in ECW for a short period.
What's your favorite iteration of Chris Jericho through his illustrious career?
He's got the steel ring steps set up. What?
Probably it's either this one or
Jericho may be talented, but he's not bright. Raven is leaving. He didn't
or
have
like
to defend the title. He should have kept his mouth shut. This Raven has been opened up. It's like Jericho.
a year into his WWE stint.
I think he caught him in the stomach.
Those are probably my favorite. I still like him now in AEW, but he was so funny and creative at this point, and still, like I said, they moved him from the cruiserweight division, but he would still do some of his high flying moves at this point.
Yeah.
So just on the mic and in the ring, he was maybe at his peak right here, even though this wasn't the peak of his career.
Mm-hmm.
The peak of his career was definitely he became the first. This is after WCW got bought by WWF. He became the first undisputed world champion when they merged the WWF and WCW titles. Jericho, to do that, he beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in one night.
Wow.
So that definitely was the peak of his career. That was, I believe, in 2001, I believe.
That had to have been an awesome night.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
My favorite Jericho.
Nice.
Folks at home, keep in mind, I've only been watching wrestling since I don't even know when, 2010 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, not consistently. I like the List Jericho with the Festival of Friendship with Kevin Owens.
No. Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, Jesus
fucking
Christ. I think Jericho's head just rammed into the steel guardrail.
Yeah, Raven did not catch him even a little bit.
Yeah.
He basically stepped out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, what was he doing? He just sidestepped him.
I don't know. That looked like it hurt.
Oh my God. That has to be a concussion. You think?
Not
He
necessarily.
flew at it with it and hit his head. Like,
I've hit my head harder than that and not gotten a concussion, I feel like.
before you had one and you just didn't know it.
That's true. I've had several concussions. I've had at least 2 diagnosed concussions. So I'm not sure how many other ones I had.
You know as well
I don't think I've ever had one, but I feel like I've hit myself with the car on my head. Like either not paying attention and like trying to grab something quickly, so I like reach down really quickly from the outside and like smack my head against the rim of the door. Or I've also hit my head on the trunk of the car multiple times.
Like closing it on your own head?
No, like it wasn't open all the way, and I reached for something
Oh.
and just like whammed my head on it.
Let's see.
Closed it on my own head. That would be impressive.
I've been in this sport a long time, and I have never passed out from pain. I can't even imagine what that's like.
You passed out from fear, though. I know.
Raven going to the biting. I think it's biting Jericho's nose there.
Yeah, that takes a bizarre individual to not want to.
So this our opening match, Halloween Havoc, pretty good when they got going here.
On the left side rope for the Irish whip.
Raven has Jericho in a sleeper. Oh, backdrop by Jericho
Head of steam.
and senton.
Drop the senton.
Yeah, Jericho's just very fun to watch at this point.
Looks like he is working on that turnbuckle pad.
Gonna expose that steel bolt.
That's exactly what he's doing. Good call, Brain.
Ooh.
I guess he's gonna see how much punishment Raven can really take.
Raven, you're in for a good time coming up here.
And in his first book, forget the name of it now. In his first book, though, Jericho talks about this period in WCW and pretty interesting the things he has to say about it. So I would check that book out. It's a very good book. He goes through he goes through Mexico, through Germany, probably I'm probably Japan, and then comes back to America at points and wrestles for Smoky Mountain Wrestling, wrestles for WCW, wrestles for ECW, and it's just a very interesting look into the industry and into a bunch of different presentations of wrestling. It's a very good book. His, like I said, I can't remember the title, but Chris Jericho's first book, whatever it's called. I highly recommend it.
Jericho's got the legs. Got the legs and steers down to Raven. And look how Raven's fighting off this attempted alliance here.
Oh, is he ever?
Yeah, pretty good match they got going here. This is probably one of the best ones of the night, I'm sure. And both these guys are, like I said, are just about at their peak.
He's reaching out.
Oh,
It's the longest 6 inches of his life.
What an effort. And the fans applaud that move. A great effort from Raven to get to the ropes. And Jericho is happy, man. He thought it was over, but Scott Dickinson was right on top of it, the referee. Frustration.
yeah, they have Snickers ads. WCW didn't do. I don't think they did a lot of in-ring advertising, but for Halloween Havoc, they always seem to. For a couple years, there was Slim Jim ads everywhere, even on the turnbuckles. And here it's Snickers ads everywhere. On the pumpkin, they got it on the whatever, the posters up high. They got it inside the ring.
He's all yours right now.
Eric Bischoff really went a long way in trying to monetize WCW as much as he could. I don't know.
Did you say it was Jericho's first book?
Yeah,
A Lion's Tale?
I believe that's right.
Came out
Yes,
in 2007.
that seems like too late, but I think that is the name of the book, though. Yeah. Let me see the cover. Yes, A Lion's Tale. Excellent book. I highly recommend it. Oh, there's Chris Canyon.
Chris Jericho has a lot of books.
And Raven taps out, and Jericho keeps the world television title. Chris Canyon came and interfered there. Chris Canyon, I don't think he's on the card this night, but he was a very inventive wrestler. He also wrestled as the masked character Mortis, and was a very, very cool character. And he was not openly gay, but he was gay. And eventually, I'm not sure when that became known, but eventually he took his own life. Chris Canyon did. Very sad. Very sad. Yeah, very innovative. I believe he created the flatliner, which is see people using today still. And he would break out new moves pretty consistently. Chris Canyon.
I like
You don't
the,
hear a lot about him nowadays, but very innovative.
I like the lion claws cutting through Chris Jericho's pants design.
Mhm.
I mean, is that normal for him, or is that a Halloween specific outfit?
I don't remember. All right, so if you're new to the stream here, Halloween Havoc 98, we are 22 minutes and 47 seconds into it right now.
We got the NWO music playing. Yeah, it's not.
The NWO Hollywood music.
Oh,
You got to
sorry.
remember at this point, there's a good guy NWO and a bad guy NWO.
Have I seen that before?
What?
The good and bad music.
I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Is this the original music, or is this always just that shit? God, his arms are like grossly huge.
Yeah. Hogan pretty roided up at this point. No, this was the real NWO music.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Kissing Eric Bischoff.
So,
Pete's Bischoff and Liz. What power did Liz have?
who's Liz?
Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth?
I think that's what they mean. But I think she was a face, I thought. I don't know.
Also, how do you impeach someone with no power?
Yeah, I don't get it.
So much. It's a long list of things.
I don't know.
First and foremost, it's the fact that you represent.
Where do you think that inflatable is right now? It's got to be somewhere, right?
Family values.
I wish we could have it.
Dude, Halloween Horror Nights should do a like a Halloween Havoc wrestling section with like all the Halloween Havoc decorations and merchandise. That would be nice.
Vegas, the rest of the world, when Hollywood hits the ground in his rear jet, they worship the ground I walk on.
Fun fact: I used to work at Halloween Horror Nights.
Last week,
La-di-da-di-da.
where Hollywood was coming from, I took my blood, I took my whole family, and I took something that I love like life itself, and simply because he didn't sacrifice, simply because he wasn't ready to be an NWOite, I crucified him in front of the whole wrestling world. I took Horace and I laid him to rest in a pool of carnage and blood, only befitting a
Did he actually crucify him?
I don't remember. Oh, here we go. He's talking about his nephew, Horace Hogan.
I think you all know, brother, that Hollywood's the man. Hollywood doesn't blow any punches. And Horace, even though he was pagan, brother,
Oh, shit.
I could hear him yell. Even as I saw the bald head, sweat,
God.
his own life. I dug a little bit deeper, just to prove you have to be worthy to be an NWOite. And brothers, as I went to grab the steel chair, I felt the blood, the life.
Who's that next to Paul White?
I didn't see.
Too far to make an example. I drew the line.
That was Stevie Ray, Scott Norton, the Giant, Paul White, Horace Hogan was in there.
The warrior.
That's all I remember.
Oh, I didn't see Stevie Ray.
Like the rest
Yeah.
of the NWOites, you will know exactly what I'm all about. And we're
Did Stevie Ray have another name, or was always just Stevie Ray?
But he had another name at first when Harlem Heat debuted. I can't keep their names right. He was either Kane or Cole. Those were their names at first.
See.
from darkness
Into my world,
What do you
of
think?
cutting edge, of visionaries, brother. You're gonna get beat up real bad, and that's gonna be for
Tell you, people got this to say about Hulk Hogan and that to say, and he seems like a not a good person in reality.
You can say a piece of shit. It's okay.
Yeah, a piece of shit in reality. But as just a wrestling character, I really enjoy him as a face, as a heel. I really enjoy Hulk Hogan, I gotta say.
taking credit for the steel chair attack on his late brother's son. This is you see the way he looked at that belt. I can work out there.
And the Warrior, you saw maybe saw that sign OWN.
Mm-hmm.
The Warrior came back and he said he doesn't need to be NWO. He's OWN, One Warrior Nation. But so he came back here, and you'll notice they don't call him the Ultimate Warrior. They call him Warrior. And that's because WWF owned the rights to the Ultimate Warrior name and whatever. So Jim Hellwig, who played the Ultimate Warrior, he legally changes his name to Warrior in all capital letters so that he can use it in wrestling. You know, he can say, "Oh, look, it's my fucking name. I can. What? You gonna tell me I can't use my own name?"
That was brilliant.
So yes, he legally changed his name so he could use the term Warrior in WCW. So pretty slick move by him.
It is, but like, can't he just use the word warrior anyway? They didn't invent the word warrior. That means like a million different things.
I'm not sure exactly what the legal wranglings of everything
Yeah.
were. I'm not sure.
I like the clever workaround though.
Yeah.
Ripley, come here.
And here comes Wrath, formerly known in the WWF as Adam Bomb, one of my favorites in the '90s WWF.
I didn't know that's who Wrath was. I was about to say that looks like Atom Bomb.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He was known as in WCW. He was known as Wrath, and then later he was known by what I think is his real name, Brian Clark, when he was in the tag team Chronic with Brian Adams, known in the WWF as Crush.
Well, Atom Bomb has not been announced for WrestleCade yet, but Meng has.
I hope Adam Bomb. Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah, Adam Bomb. His gimmick in WWF was he was like irradiated. They said he was from 3 Mile Island, which was where this nuclear disaster happened. I think in the '80s, and
In the US, yeah.
yeah, in the U.S. Yeah, and so they named him Adam Bomb, and that was his gimmick was that he'd been exposed to radiation and whatever, and his finishing move was called the Atom Smasher. I think it was, but yeah,
I like it.
very agile big man. I liked him a lot. I never understood why he didn't go further in WWF or WCW. But
Wait, what?
he
He's wearing
and
his own head in?
yeah, Meng is tough. But Brian Clark and Brian Adams eventually, as under the team name Chronic, they eventually won the WCW World Tag Team title several times. So he had some success in WCW.
Is Meng the guy that people said was like the toughest man they'd ever met, like in the backstage area?
Well, that's what Ric Flair said.
Yeah,
Yeah. They asked him who's the toughest wrestler in real life, and he said Meng. Yeah.
I really don't think Wrath expected to keep Meng down with a clothesline.
He said that they were at some bar and these guys were trying to pick a fight with him, and like he beat up like all 3 of them or whatever and shit like that. And there was, I don't know if it's true or not, but there is a story out there that Meng bit off someone's nose at some point in some fight.
He's going
So.
Man, what a great counter. He just tumbled out of the way of that.
Really used to be a different world in which we lived, huh?
Yes, seems so.
We have seen this coming for a
And
long
Ming, he was known in WWF as Haku and King Haku.
It's a good pickup. Look at the power.
That was probably his most well-known character, not Ming.
Sorry if I keep looking off camera. Our dog is like very restless, I guess is the word, because of the storm.
Well, but we haven't, like, our driveway is blocked by downed power lines, so we can't go anywhere safely.
Yeah.
We can't go anywhere. I think someone said you can make it through the driveway though. One of our neighbors, I think, said you can make it through the driveway.
Yeah, but if she sees a dog,
Oh
starts
yeah.
flipping out.
No, we can't take her through
No.
the driveway. No.
She flips out when she sees dogs.
Yeah. But yeah, so she has not been WALK'd today. She's restless.
Or yesterday because of the hurricane.
Yeah, or no, she got.
Did you go yesterday? It was raining since I was home. Did you go before I got home from school?
She got. What was yesterday?
Thursday.
I can't remember.
You went to physical therapy and then charged the car.
She did not. She did not. Yeah. So 2 days without WALK.
It rained like all day yesterday.
Yeah, had a lot of rain and wind. Poor doggy. Yeah, part of our, like I said, our driveway is blocked by downed power lines, and then our actual street, one way, is blocked by a downed tree.
Mm-hmm. And then the power lines on the other side of our house are at like a 70-degree angle.
Right. Yeah.
It's a
lot of wind.
Yeah.
And the wind did all that. It's crazy. I think we were having like over 50-mile-per-hour winds last night, I believe, and we slept through it all. I didn't hear anything,
Yeah.
so that's not good.
No, it's really.
There was his finisher, and Wrath pins Ming. I forget what he called that finisher. Might have been the meltdown.
So wait. So he kept nuclear.
Well, if you hear his thing, it's kind of like a nuclear, like
Like a warning bell?
yes. Like a nuclear warning sound, yeah. So they kind of acknowledged his atom bomb past, yeah. That was a decent match there.
Well, it's tough to prepare for one opponent, let alone two.
I'm not sure if I don't think they had a feud going, but it's a decent match.
Facing the lesser of two evils, do you know?
Someone's got a microphone too close to the keyboard there on WCW.
Mhm.
Too many times before, so maybe easier for me to prepare. But on the other hand,
I think that's intentional. So they're like, look how hip we are. We have a website and we type.
Mhm.
He's definitely coming in heavy, and whatever he's working with the scale thing, I don't know how he's pulling it off. But if I have to face him, that's fine too, because I'm not going to back down from him.
Now moving to kind of a dead of gratitude.
He was in Filthy Animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I impress you?
A little, yeah.
That's my goal in
Oh,
life, is to impress him by learning things about wrestling.
That was just about a year after this, yeah.
He tried to get me to watch Vince Russo era WCW.
I didn't just try to, I succeeded.
And then I was like, never again. Which I don't think is going to work living in this house, but I will try. It's just too, disjointed. It's like my brain when I'm not medicated. And I don't need to see that on television, you know? Izzy does excellent Vince Russo era WCW recaps, which I'm
Yes, I
encouraging
do.
him to record and post online somewhere. 'Cause
We
they're
will, yeah.
hilarious.
At some point, I will do a watch along for a Vince Russo era Nitro. Yeah, for sure.
And occasionally pause it to give you brief summaries of what's happened so far.
Yes.
Oh my God, that outfit is like blinding with that pattern.
Yeah.
He's
It's
your
like
favorite.
hypnotizing. No, he's
You love
not my
disco?
favorite.
Or
No.
no?
Cody Rhodes a couple years ago online, just like burned Disco Inferno out of existence. I told him, like, shut the fuck up. You've never drawn a fucking dime. Who gives a fuck what you have to say? And et cetera, et cetera. I don't think he cursed that much, but that's basically what he said to Disco Inferno.
Wait, is Juventud going to be there?
I don't know.
I think he is.
So here we go. Hoovy with a kind of Halloween look.
Like it.
We got Juventud Guerrera facing Disco Inferno, who I don't believe was a cruiserweight. And the winner of this faces Billy Kidman for his cruiserweight title later in the show.
I wonder who is going to win then.
This one I remember who wins, but I won't say. I don't want to spoil it for people who have not seen the show.
I hope it's really good.
Class a couple of matches that he had. So there's obviously a little level of friction here with Juventud.
He came to AEW, didn't he, for like one match
Yes,
against Jericho? Is that right?
I think it was, yeah.
There's a long line of those people around here, Brain. Show me. You're in front of the line. Just turn around and look. Here we go. Disco Mirror, Disco Inferno, and Juventud Guerrera. Should be a good matchup. And look at this. He's wasting no time now. He went to three.
And Disco Inferno, he's the heel here, and I think the gimmick was kind of that Disco is too big to be a cruiserweight. But I mean, they have so many good cruiserweights. WCW does at this point. It's totally unnecessary to pull some dumb gimmick like that.
That's true, and a lot of times, you talk about the pace of a match. The pace of a match when
I mean, they had Juventud Guerrera, Rey Mysterio Jr. I'm trying to think who they counted as cruiserweights. I think they might have counted like Psychosis as a cruiserweight. Yeah, he's Mexican, so you say Psychosis.
Oh,
They called him Psychosis in America.
I thought they did.
The announcers called him Psychosis. Well, actually, he changed his name. He changed the spelling for American audiences, so I guess he was called Psychosis. And there they just fucked something up, and I'm gonna assume it was Disco's fault.
But that's a safe assumption.
How about Juventud?
That was a cool move there by Hoovy. Hoovy Juice.
Disco fended off the move, but came back with it a second time.
Yeah, they had a bunch of good cruiserweights.
Remember when Commander used to be Commander?
Yes, I do. Yes,
And Angelico used to be Angelico.
yes.
He broke my brain trying to get me to call him Angelico now, and it
Yeah.
seems wrong.
Whoa! Monkey flip there.
Well, he's South African, so it probably really is Angelico if that is his actual name,
That's not his actual
It
name.
could be. It could be an Angelico.
No,
He's such a sweet little baby. They named him Angelico.
no.
And you could just tell.
So if you're just joining us, Halloween Havoc 98, we are at 40 minutes and 10 seconds if you need to catch up with us.
Waiting in the wings, Hollywood Hogan the Warrior in our biggest return match ever. Diamond Dallas Page looks to be the
Yeah, some very good matches on this show, I think.
That's still a team here tonight.
I really enjoyed the Jericho Raven match, and it was cool to see Wrath versus Ming. There's some good moves there.
Wow, inverted atomic drop first, then he turned him inside out with the clothesline. See, now this is where he makes a mistake.
Ming definitely has an aura about him, but he's not the best worker. Like, he doesn't have a ton of moves, He does like some karate chops and some
I agree with
Coming.
flare chops, yeah. And he doesn't have a ton of moves. And a kick. Yeah, he does kicks. When he was younger, he did a savate kick, which is like kind of a back kick type thing.
Savat.
I believe that is called. I don't know. Might mean backwards in Japanese, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Disco Inferno.
It does not sound like a Japanese word.
No, it doesn't. Maybe it's French.
Sounds French.
It might be French.
What's going on in that screen behind them?
You're right.
What
With,
screen?
there's like a projection screen with like
Oh.
green lettering.
Yeah,
flickering. It's been
yeah.
going on the whole show.
Here's a guy.
I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know if it was just see no, then it says WCW.
Maybe it said WCW and it's flickering WCW. I don't know what's up with that.
ringside to advise him. He needs guidance, and he'd be great.
Nice.
Good pick.
Ah.
Time by Juventude, but he held on to the
Of
rope.
course, little Nate is the ref there.
Holding on, spinning her way out, Juventude.
Oh, little Nate, who Charles Robinson, who was supposedly obsessed with being Ric Flair's friend, would change his own hairstyle to match Ric Flair's hairstyle.
His hair does not look like Ric Flair's hair.
Well, as good as he could do with short hair is what he did. Yeah, can't have a referee out there with like long flowing locks. It wouldn't look right. Oh, nice splash by Hoovy.
Connecting slingshot cross body block, laid out disco. Boom pin down.
I'm trying to think what other cruiserweights they had at this point. Like I said, Psychosis, Hoovy, Jericho kind of just come out of the cruiserweight division. Rey Mysterio Jr. I believe La Parka wrestled in the cruiserweight division a little. I could be wrong about that, but he's obviously too big. I could be wrong about that, but I kind of remember him wrestling in the cruiserweight division.
Ooh,
Bam!
he's good.
Yeah, Hoovy's awesome.
He really didn't hook the
What the hell was that?
Cats, perhaps.
Okay,
They're very large cats, so sometimes it sounds like our ceiling is falling in.
we have one very large cat.
We have one very large cat and one largest cat.
Oh, damn! Several reversals here.
Just going. Go get him, Jordan, go get him. Well,
Were you? Yeah,
he's down. He can't make a cover.
Disco really not the best worker.
Of this non-stop number one contenders match.
Uh,
Has to be the cruiserweight champ Kidman back in the locker room. He's watching
I don't know.
both of these men.
I think some of the wrestlers enjoyed his gimmick because it was so silly.
It's a double advantage for him.
And like I believe maybe like Kevin Nash liked it because it was so silly. I believe that's kind of what I heard. You know, because he's shaking his ass out there and disco dancing and all that dumb shit.
was Kevin Nash like partially in charge?
At this point, I could be wrong. I believe Kevin Nash was the head booker at this point.
Oh, okay.
He was either the head booker or part of. And he's doing the Macarena. He was either the head booker or part of a booking committee. I believe he's part of a committee because Kevin Nash went on record in the book Nitro by Guy Evans. Kevin Nash said that there was only one show that he had complete control over. It was one episode of WCW Thunder he had complete control over, and everything else was several people having their hands in it. And most notably, I think Kevin Sullivan.
Was he just saying that so people didn't say he gave himself the belt? That would be
A lot of people would say that.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people would say that he's just saying that. So I think he's being honest though. But he was on the booking committee, and somebody booked him to beat Goldberg. You know, his first match. You know, at Starrcade '98. And as Bobby Heenan said, they've just killed the golden goose, which turned out to be very true for WCW. That really started the ratings downturn of WCW when Goldberg lost. I mean, he was the hottest shit that they had. Everybody loved Goldberg. I mean, a lot of people did, I should say. He didn't have a ton of moves, but it was exciting as fuck to see him come in and just smash somebody with a spear and jackhammer them and beat them in 40 seconds or whatever. And he had one of the best entrances of all time. Coming out of his locker room with all the security.
Yeah.
They just really did a great job with that character, and then just killed so much of his mystique in one night.
Yeah. Well, I just found out last week that a coworker, like I teach 8th grade, and there's 2 other 8th grade teachers in my school. And so I work very closely with both of them. One of them whom I've worked with for 8 years and who knows I do a wrestling podcast and like love wrestling, just told me last week that she used to be obsessed with Goldberg and had like a Goldberg lunchbox that she would take to school with her. And she had like a shirt and a poster in her bedroom. And that she and her friends were obsessed with wrestling. Like, how do you not tell me that in 8 years of knowing me?
Yeah, that's weird.
The
Oh,
only
nice
thing
pile
I was
driver.
talking about DDP with DDP yoga, and she was like, "Oh, I know DDP," and I was like, "How do you know DDP?" And she's
Damn.
like, "Oh, I used to love wrestling." And she used to go to Fall Brawl and shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's a big secret to keep from someone you talk to every day for like
Has she
8
read?
years.
Sorry, has she read Goldberg's book? His autobiography?
I would guess no. I don't think she still loves Goldberg. If I had to guess,
Really?
she really like.
She wouldn't be interested to read it. It's
I mean,
pretty good.
yeah. Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Oh.
It's good though. It's if you out there, I really enjoy reading the wrestling books, and I hope you all out there do. And if you haven't read any yet, then pick some up because a lot of them are really interesting. I would start honestly. I would start with Mick Foley's book, Have a Nice Day. It's really well written, and the comedy comes through, and the drama of being a wrestler, and just his stories about being on the road, like as an independent wrestler and making no fucking money and having to keep every dime, and then going through WCW and kind of being successful, and then going back down to ECW, coming up in WWF and becoming a huge star. Mick Foley tells his story, and he didn't have a writer with him. A lot of the times, these wrestlers will have a writer who kind of puts their thoughts together, you know?
Ghostwriter.
A ghostwriter, right. But Mick Foley didn't have that. And so as a result, his book really is his voice. His first book, Have a Nice Day, very good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to let Goldberg distract me from the fact that Juventud just lost that match.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
Disco Inferno, yeah, I'm sorry, beat Juventud with a jumping pile driver. So Disco Inferno gets a shot at Billy Kidman's cruiserweight title later in the show.
Why are they dressed like mobster cowgirls? What are they wearing?
I don't know.
It's like a cowgirl hat, but then like a zoot suit jacket.
Apparently.
Oh, they're in Vegas.
Yeah. They did Halloween Havoc in Vegas for several years in a row. Oh Lord.
Is this the year that what was that stripper movie? Striptease? Was that the name of the movie? With
Yeah.
Jesse from Saved by the Bell?
No, that was Showgirls.
Showgirls.
Yeah.
Is this one that came out?
I don't remember what year that came out.
Because like shortly thereafter, it was like stripping is exercise, and then there were like all these exercise classes at gyms and stuff that were like stripping classes.
Lord. Here comes somebody from the NWO Hollywood. Scott Steiner, the genetic freak. Big Papa Pump. Of course, tag team champion WCW, WWF, in Japan, IWGP tag titles, I believe.
I want to see pictures of these men sitting around with bleach and like foil on their faces. You know?
Yeah.
Like, where's the beauty parlor backstage photos?
Where are
They
those
have-
photos?
They have to exist.
So being in Las Vegas is a night off for me. So I'm just here to tell you, Big Papa Pump is in town and he's ready to pound.
Oh dear.
That's dirty.
He's dirty.
Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holler if you hear me. No, I just heard that sniveling, crying little mama's boy, Marcus Buff Bagwell, come out here and say he wants to be at behind my brother's back, someone I beat up my whole life.
What?
Now, Marcus, I knocked you down in Chicago in front of your mother. And I beat my brother up all my life.
He lost his mother recently, didn't he, Marcus?
I believe so.
But if you want to make this
You
match,
sent him a condolences message.
I did.
why don't you tag up with my brother?
Very sad.
And I'm gonna
He's
take
having a rough go of it.
man
Yeah.
Oh god, his arm is the grossest arm of all arms ever armed. Oh.
Human being in the world, the giant.
And I'm not supposed to like body shame a little bit. Oh my god. It's like a soda can.
This match interesting because the NWO does whatever they want. We'll wrestle you for the world tag team titles. Ain't that right, John? You ready to take down them two punks for the world titles? But you look at it like this. You've got a barking dog that's got no bite, and you've got a pretty boy that's got no guts. So Big Papa Pump and the Giant are gonna have a little food tonight. You get what I'm saying? Excuse me, gentlemen. I
Here's
just wanna
J.J.
make sure
Dillon, who
I
was
heard
kind of the on-screen commissioner.
say that you feel that your brother and Marcus Bagwell have so little a chance that you two will meet them in a tag match and put the titles on the line. Did I hear you say that right? There is no way that those two punks will beat the largest man in the world, the man with the largest arms in the world. So why wouldn't we put up the world tag team titles? Because we're the NWO and you're not.
Accurate.
If you're that confident, then you would certainly have no problem agreeing that if you put the titles on the line and somehow lost them, that you would agree to face your brother one-on-one tonight for 15 minutes after that, so that somehow we got a chance of getting that match we all been
I think
dying.
you may have revealed the end of one of the matches.
Overbooking the shit out of this.
There's nobody that can put the
Very
largest
confusing.
man down for a 3 count. So hell yeah, I'm wrestling my brother, but he's not gonna beat me and the Giant. All right, then as far as WCW is concerned, it's official. You and the Giant will meet your brother and Buff Bagwell for the titles, and if somehow you manage to lose the titles tonight, you will face your brother here one-on-one. What's official is me and the Giant are gonna beat Buff Bagwell and my brother just like that. That remains to be seen.
So there you have it, fans. It's a bonus on
Okay.
how we have it. You know, we've often said you never know what to expect. At a WCW pay-per-view spectacular, well,
I don't know what just got edited out there.
given the word that it's official, the World Tag Team Championship will be on the line. Big Papa Pop,
Yeah. Scott Steiner and the Giant versus Buff Bagwell and Rick Steiner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next contest.
And if Steiner and Giant lose, Steiner faces his brother Rick for 15 minutes. And here comes Fit Finlay. I believe one-time world television champion. And so he's from Ireland, and eventually he became one of WCW's trainers. And here comes Alex Wright from Nuremberg, which, if you don't know about Nuremberg, is where they had the trials of all the fucking Nazis, and they would say, yep, guilty, and then they would hang them on this fucking spot. Some instant justice there. It's got Alex Wright with this big German sausage there. You just saw that. There it is again.
Alex Wright's father was more or less ended by the man, the brawler, the bruiser from Belfast, already in the ring.
Alex Wright, famous for dancing around and having a big cock.
I remember his big cock.
And Alex Wright was pretty good wrestler. I don't remember if he ever held a belt. You figure he did at some point, but I don't remember.
Wow, where do I make out the check?
And under the Vince Russo WCW, about a year after this, he would become Berlin with a Y.
Oh, we saw him the other day.
Mm-hmm. A very different character. Basically, he became like one of the members of the band Rammstein. Rammstein, however it was pronounced. Well, that's what everybody said. I'm not sure of the actual pronunciation. Ramstein. I would think it would be Ramstein.
How do you say
Ramstein.
wrestling?
Who, the Irish guy?
Yeah, is that Finley?
Finley.
Oh. He was old. Was he ever a young person?
Apparently not, no. He looked old, even though I don't think he's that old here.
Like, he looks older there than when I started watching wrestling, when he was still wrestling in like 2010.
Yeah.
And now you can smell the smoke. The flames are starting to roar. Hogan
Yeah,
is-
Finley was a trainer for a long time, and isn't his son
Yeah.
big in Japan? What's his name?
Something Finley.
I believe his son is big in Japan right
He's like
now.
the leader of Bullet Club. Isn't
Yes,
he?
I think so.
Yeah, if you know his name, feel free to throw it in the
Is it
chat.
Mark Finley, David Finley. Is it David?
I think it's David.
David Finley, maybe.
Look at me wrong, but I think it's David.
Yeah, I don't keep up with Japanese wrestling. Sorry, but I think his son David Finley, we'll say, is the leader of Bullet Club in Japan. And I believe he did well in the
G1.
yes, thank you. I could in the G1 tournament this year. I believe so. He was one of the favorites to win.
4 or 5 inch punch can knock you cold. It's just how he delivers.
And the crowd is chanting boring. I don't think this has been boring at all. I think maybe they're just not interested in these two characters.
Wrestling is such a fascinating line between live theater and sports.
Yeah.
That just from coming from the theater side of things, I find wrestling crowds' behavior shocking at times.
Yeah.
Like the idea that during a live performance, the crowd is going to start chanting boring at the people performing.
Hey, they paid a lot of money for those seats. It's just like in a real sport,
Yeah.
or in a whatever you would call it, in a non-predetermined sport.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of shit plays though. I've never heard people start chanting boring at the actors.
I don't know. Yeah, I think people have more emotion invested in sports than in plays. Most people, a lot of people do. I think people in the U.S. do definitely.
I think about what has made me cry harder.
What, wrestling or theater? Sports or theater?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with theater.
I think the only time I ever cried over sports, I think, was when UNC won the NCAA basketball title in 1993. I think that was it.
I think I cried during Kofi Mania.
Oh yeah?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've ever cried over wrestling. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe when Mick Foley won his first world title in WWF. Maybe.
You haven't cried when anyone retired? You didn't cry at Revolution at Sting's last match?
No.
Oh. But no retirement speeches?
Finley takes Alex right and drops him right across the steel.
That's just so heartbreaking. A wrestler saying they can never wrestle again?
Maybe when I thought Ric Flair was retiring. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. This crying over wrestlers' deaths is different, I think.
When he had a really bad health scare, I believe in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I might have cried over that because he almost died.
Mm-hmm.
He was dead, I think, by all accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And the EMTs got him and brought him back to life. I believe that's the true story. His wife found him dead in their home. They called the EMTs and they brought him back to life. So that's crazy. And he didn't have any brain damage somehow. It's a crazy story. Oh, shit.
They could not have...
Finley did the Samoa Joe there.
Maybe they walked her through CPR till the paramedics got there.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
he couldn't be dead for that long without brain damage.
Right. Yeah. Couldn't be without oxygen.
Yeah.
And Alex Wright wins a rather short match, but with some good moves. It was not boring at all. No, not like the crowd was saying.
Oh, can I say something about AEW that I read?
There you go.
Did you see that Daniel Garcia is far from signing a new
Yep.
contract?
Yep.
It sucks.
Yeah. Well, people think that the position that Commander has right now in AEW was meant for Daniel Garcia. I think some people think that.
What, a sidekick to Private Party?
No, as like on Bryan Danielson's side
Oh,
in this fight, you know, it would be Private Party and Daniel Garcia.
why? He wasn't doing anything with Daniel Garcia. He was feuding with MJF.
Well, it's just why Commander? Same thing, you know.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
Just because he ran in to help. Same thing. It would be Daniel Garcia just wanted to run in and help.
Mhm.
I am the real deal. There's another man that's calling himself the real deal. I'm telling you, if I get my
There's Ernest Miller, the cat, Ernest Miller.
Who's the guy with him?
Oh, that Lee Marshall, I think is his name. Had a great voice.
I'm 65-0 against the guys in the locker room. All the so-called WCW tough guys.
What is that thing that's on either side that I thought was like an Oscar statue at first?
It's like a ghoul with a top hat on, holding a pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern rather.
Imagine ghouls to be like drippier.
Drippy.
Not in like more fashionable sense of drippy, but like gooey looking. Very solid looking ghoul.
See.
Lodi?
Yeah. Lodi, a member of Raven's flock.
It looks like Lash LaRue in the face, you
A
know?
little bit, a little bit. Who we got going here? Yeah, that was his gimmick. Was he had signs.
Oh, like Sammy Guevara did. They stole it from this guy?
I don't know if he stole it. It's just like Lodi never got mic time, so he's like, I'm gonna make some fucking signs. I guess that maybe that's how it came about.
I always assumed Sammy stole it from Love Actually.
I believe Perry Saturn is coming out. Yes, former member of Raven's flock. He left.
It looks like he's a former member of Demolition. That was a S&M clothing joke, in case you were wondering, folks. What's up with that?
He's dressed very gaily, that is for sure. Saturn.
I'd be more specific than that. He's dressed like a leather daddy.
Maybe he is gay. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah. Very odd clothing
But he
choice.
definitely is dressed like he's gay. That's for sure.
Raven defeated, or actually Saturn defeated Raven. And so Lodi looking for
On a unrelated note, I always loved like the gay leather scene in Orlando because people used to make like
slowing the proceedings down here too.
stereotypical gay jokes about like effeminate, weak men being gay, you know. And then
Okay.
here were these like burly men that would like kick the shit out of you if you looked at them wrong. Loved it.
Let's see.
Well, power-wise, age is overwhelming. We expected this.
But they were nice. They just looked like that.
But yeah,
You can't underestimate.
when a year later, when Vince Russo he was relieved of his duties after only several weeks.
How's that?
Yeah, the WCW really did not give him a chance. Vince Russo. The ratings were kind of, you know, they went up, but not much. They went up by 0.05 points. But, you know, Vince Russo said, you know, this is going to be a couple year thing, you know, where it's not instant. It's not going to be instant. We compete with WWF again. Anyways, when they kicked Vince Russo out of his job, Kevin Sullivan took over as head booker. And he and Chris Benoit don't like each other because Kevin Sullivan's ex-wife became Chris Benoit's wife. So when Kevin Sullivan took over, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko uh, all asked for releases, I believe. I don't think all their contracts were up, but they all asked for releases, and WCW granted them. And then very shortly after, Benoit, Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko showed up on WWF, known as the Radicals. So that was a lot of talent that left WCW at one time. They were all mid-card talent, which is why they all left. I mean, Eddie Guerrero became a world-class. He was already a world-class wrestler, but it was rewarded with a world title. Benoit, who was actually he got the WCW title just before he left. They gave it to him to show there were no hard feelings. But he left. Benoit, he left still. And then Saturn and Malenko were mid carders, and they went to WWF and stayed mid carders. So I don't know what's going on with the Saturn and Lodi match. Lodi keeps
Nothing.
nothing. I think this is a time killer, maybe.
I loved those necklaces. Those like the kind of like the used for fan pulls, but they're much larger gauge. You know,
Yeah,
they're so cool.
very 90s, very 1998.
All the
Bam.
cool kids at school wore them.
Belly to belly suplex. Saturn just crashing Lodi.
So we have an update on our tree situation. Are you interested?
Okay.
They have upgraded our issue to an emergency level because we have 11 residences that can't get in or out of their homes.
Yeah.
They can't remove the tree until the power comes out.
Uh-huh.
It should be sometime this evening.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
And then
if we still lose our power, I'm sorry if we. Saturn just destroyed Lodi. So.
They made it sound like it was going to be like in the middle of the night, so I think we're okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they'll notify the tree crew to get the tree. Do not touch the tree, is what they've told us.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, because it's electrified.
Oh shit! The tree is electrified.
That's what I said. It's dangerous because it can be electrified. Although
Jesus.
I was not a conductor, so I don't really know how that works. But
Yeah, right.
maybe because it's wet.
Maybe just don't fuck around with the tree. Yeah. Is the best thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go touch the tree. So.
Saturn's so powerful. So many different ways he can beat you. Now in the belly, drop slowly on the back of his head. No big deal. Picks him up. He's gonna drop him right here. Good night, Lodi. Enjoy your trip to Vegas.
What was the move Saturn hit to win?
You're asking? I have no idea.
I'm asking you. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Cutting something out again.
I assumed it was an ad. Do you think they're cutting out?
I think it was an ad. Yeah.
Also, it's going to be Hall against Nash, and now we know it's a match for the World Tag Team title.
Yeah, we still got Hall versus Nash. We got Sting versus Bret Hart. Hogan versus Warrior. Goldberg versus DDP.
That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Which one?
Goldberg versus DDP.
It is an excellent match. Yeah. I think it's pretty much universally agreed that that's the best match Goldberg ever had.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Talk about expecting the unexpected. That again, the case here with the World Tag Team titles being put on the line. It's going to be the Giant taking the place of Scott Hall, teaming with Scott Steiner. But then, if we do have new tag team champs, then we're finally going to get to see the Steiner brothers go one-on-one.
I want to see too. Oh, I want to see that. I want to see if Scott really beat Rick up that many times. If he really took him out back all those years. If he really dominated him. That's what I want to see. A good family fight. Mother and father.
So what's been the best match so far, Kay?
Let's show the fans some footage that went down not too long ago. We saw Bob Bagwell alluded to this. This was this past Sunday on Nitro.
I don't know the answer to that. Let me see the list of matches. And I will pick one.
That's exactly what I said right there. It went right for his head that time. And almost hit him with a chair. And then.
Well, I'll tell you what I think is the best match we've seen so far.
No, you'll sway me. So
Pick one.
I'm going to. I just have to look at it. I'm going with the Juventud match.
Really?
No, I'm going with Jericho.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going with. Jericho's successful world television title defense over Raven the opening match, yeah, it's been my favorite so far, definitely.
I think seeing Juventud was my favorite thing so far.
I mean, he
The
was
match,
good.
yeah,
Just Disco was
yeah.
not great.
That's why I changed my mind at the last moment. This is so weird.
What, the Nitro Girl?
Yeah.
Well, how would you try and get the young male audience?
Awesome wrestling.
Just I know it's a great move by Eric Bischoff. You know, let's be honest.
No, I'm just saying, like, as someone who has only watched recent wrestling,
Yeah,
like, it's very strange.
I understand how it would come off, but
Plus, I thought it was like, I didn't realize it was throughout. Was it always throughout the card? I always thought it was like opening and like maybe closing.
yeah, throughout the card, yes.
Oh, that one almost fell. I saw it.
Sting and Bret Hart brawling in the back, both men ending up in the hospital tonight. The two to go one.
Oh, now Disco Inferno gets his cruiserweight title shot against Billy Kidman.
Can I just point out we could be seeing Juventud Guerrera?
Exactly, yeah. We should be seeing Hoovy versus Kidman, which would be an awesome match, yeah. But instead we're seeing Disco Inferno versus Kidman.
Which means we get to hear the song for a third time, possibly a fourth time if he wins.
Which means Disco fucking Inferno wrestles 2 matches on this show. Not necessary. So far, out of everyone on the card, he's maybe Lodi, but he's the one I would definitely not want to see twice.
This opponent from Allentown, Pennsylvania. He is the WCW Cruiserweight Champion.
I am for Kidman.
Yeah, definitely. Disco Inferno sucks.
I like Kidman.
Oh, Kidman is a former Ravens Flock member. There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because this is when he's a face. Yeah.
Did he have another name he used?
Not to my knowledge.
I get him and X-Pac mixed up sometimes.
I could see that a little. Yeah.
Similar.
Small guys that wear tank tops.
Very oval, elongated faces with long brown hair.
Well, X-Pac has a facial hair. He has like a goatee, usually, and or a beard, kind of maybe, and has a black tank top. Billy Kidman wears jean shorts and has a white tank top and no facial hair.
I don't mean from this specific era necessarily. I just mean that wrestler. So I mean, people shave and change their shirts.
Yes. Well, those two didn't. X-Pac wore black, and most of the time he wore black.
Even when
Kidman always wore the fucking white tank top and the blue jean shorts in WCW.
Even when he was 1, 2, 3 Kid, he wore black.
No, he wore blue as the 1, 2, 3 Kid. That's what X-Pac was when he first came into WWF. For you youngsters, he got a shocking win over Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw, and a star was born. So if you're new to us here, it's Halloween Havoc 1998. We are 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 27 seconds in. If you need to calibrate with us there. And everybody out there, feel free, talk to us, man. Had a lot of that. I guess you're just watching, which is fine. But if you want to talk to us, feel free to talk to us.
We might have some trivia later. If you want to participate in the chat, you can feel free.
Yeah, and then maybe we can draw some talking out of these folks.
They're just enthralled with the WCW wrestling.
I guess.
They've been taken back in time to 1998 when you couldn't really engage with what you were watching on TV in this way,
Sure. Mm. Can't decide if I can rate that first disco match 3 or 3.5. What do you think?
I have no thoughts.
Okay.
1998, October of 1998, I was starting high school. freshman in high school.
Yep, same.
Very young.
Me and my friend Robbie got this pay-per-view. We watched before the pay-per-view. Or no, we watched the pay-per-view, and then after the pay-per-view, we played WCW NWO Revenge on the N64 all night, which is still one of my favorite games of all time. If not honestly my favorite video game of all time. Maybe. Maybe.
It's been the cruiserweight division.
I don't know if I knew what wrestling was in 1998.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I don't have any friends that watched it or talked about it that I remember anyway. Like, I knew who Hulk Hogan
Weird.
was.
To be 14 and not have any friends who talked about wrestling or watched it, that's kind of strange, I think. So many people were watching it in 1998.
Well, and
Everybody was.
it was my sophomore year when I changed schools that I met my first like friend who watched wrestling. His name was Austin, and he used to wear Austin 316 shirts all the time.
Makes sense.
And I didn't know what that was. I was Catholic, so I'm not super familiar with the Bible because they don't really do that. So I was like, "Is that from the Bible?" And he was, yeah, to explain it to me. But I knew who Hulk Hogan was. I think just from all the ads and stuff.
Of course, that's nothing new.
I don't think I knew. I think I just thought he was like an athlete.
Hulk Hogan was in also. If you didn't know wrestling, Hulk Hogan was in Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Which I didn't see.
Saw that shit in the theater.
I don't even think I saw the first Gremlins. My parents didn't really do scary movies.
Yeah, Gremlins 2 was a little scary. Gremlins 1 was definitely scary, though.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Bam! Kidman with a nice bulldog there off of the ring steps.
I think I also must have known, or at least seen who Sting was. Because when I hear the word wrestler, like the person I picture in my head is Surfer Sting. Like, and it's always been like that. So I have to have seen him at some point.
I hear wrestler, probably the first person I think of is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Sting, Surfer Sting.
Flying over that top rope.
Stretch Armstrong, was that a wrestler doll? That's
No, that was just a toy.
Oh, I always thought that was like supposed to be a wrestler.
Nobody home on the splash there. Yeah, earlier today we watched Halloween Havoc 89, and the main event was Ric Flair and Sting, world champion Ric Flair and Sting versus television champion the Great Muta and Terry Funk
It was awesome.
in a Thunderdome cage match, which the Thunderdome, I don't know what that meant. The cage supposedly was electrified, which is dumb. Like, the wrestlers didn't even pretend to get shocked.
No, they did at one point. There
Did
was
they?
one part of, so I think it was like a part of the cage was electrified, but they
Yeah.
didn't tell them where. So they could climb the cage, but at their own peril.
But there's no point to climbing the cage in that match
Yeah, no, I agree.
because you had to win by pinfall or submission.
They sure spent a lot of time climbing that
Yes,
cage.
they did. Yep. And before the match began, one of the ring lights was so hot, and it touched some of the fake spider web, and
It
it
was the
started a
fabric.
fucking. Oh, was it what?
It was the fabric, like they had like torn fabric hanging.
Oh,
Like, it
okay.
was spooky.
Yeah, and it started a fire. A real fire.
Mhm.
And they tried to put it out, and then the Great Muta, who, if you know him, he was a Japanese wrestler, and maybe the first to spit mist. I'm not sure about that. Definitely the one who popularized spitting mist, and he came up and he had the mist in his mouth already, I guess, or popped it out of his pocket or whatever he did, and he came up and sprayed his mist to put the fire out, which was awesome.
It was very cool.
But yeah, it was a pretty good match.
I loved the Great Muta.
Really? How many times have you seen him?
Like twice.
Oh,
But he's like Asuka's inspiration, and I love her. So therefore, I love
very
the Great Muta.
influential on a lot of Japanese wrestlers. Yeah.
Plus, I love misting so much that like I have to love him. I loved him before I ever saw him, you know?
Huh.
And the misting in the fingers and then putting it in people's eyes like Asuka did with the hot sauce with Bianca Belair. I appreciate that.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think who the most popular wrestler was in the U.S. in the 80s, or who the most well known was, it was probably, honestly, it was probably the Orient Express in the WWF.
The most popular wrestler?
Most well known Japanese
Oh, okay. You
wrestler.
didn't say the Japanese.
I did, I thought.
You did not. That's
The most well known Japanese wrestler in the 80s in the U.S. A lot of a lot of things added on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the Orient Express. I think I forget their names. I think they were the most well known. It's just WWF was so much more watched than NWA or WCW, whatever it might have been called.
Was
I think it turned to WCW. I could be wrong, in like 1991. But they kind of called it that in '89, but all the belts were NWA belts. It was confusing when it became WCW.
Was Yokozuna not till the 90s?
Well, Yokozuna was Samoan.
Well, I know that, but he pretended to be Japanese, so I was counting him.
Yeah, no, he didn't debut until either late '92 or early '93. I think it might have been late '92. But yeah, he was. I mean, still, I think now I wonder who the most well-known Japanese wrestler is in the U.S. It might be the Great Muta. Now that people have had access to the internet and all that, it may be the Great Muta. Maybe Asuka. Maybe it's not Okada.
No. What about Oh, I always forget his name. He was the champion of WWE.
Yokozuna?
No, the long-haired one who's there now that unzips his thing and goes like
Nakamura?
Yeah. Wasn't he the champion?
It's just in the WWF in the '80s. So many people watched it, so I might stick with the Orient Express.
I just meant I was picking him over Asuka, like as a possible for now.
Oh yeah. No, I mean like now looking back, ever.
Yeah.
In the U.S., who's the most popular Japanese wrestler? How the hell did we get on talking about that?
The Great Muta blowing out.
Oh, the Great Muta. Yes.
The other one.
So yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question. It most well known. Man, I just wonder. I've never thought about that.
Feel free to let us know your thoughts because I can't really contribute to this
I
conversation.
feel like it would either be the Orient Express of the '80s, who were kind of well known, but they were on WWF at a point when everybody was watching. Their ratings were insane in the '80s, and that was the biggest wrestling has ever been. The Hulk Hogan '80s WWF era, I think. I think the numbers kind of bear that out as well. Bam! Nice shooting star press by Kidman. He beats Disco Inferno and keeps his belt.
Thank goodness.
Pretty good match there. You can only do so much with Disco Inferno because he sucks.
What a battle. Disco Inferno gave the world's cruiserweight champion, but Kidman with his patented shooting star press.
What does he do now, Kidman?
I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't think he's involved in like AEW or WWE. I've never heard his name as an agent or anything like that, or a booker. So I don't know. That's a good question. What does Kidman do now? I've not even heard him as like being on a podcast. But in WWE, when he went to WWE, he became very popular.
What's his first name?
Billy. He became very popular. Was with the or no, that was WCW. Never mind. We got an NWO Hollywood member coming out.
He's not dead. That's always good when you look up a wrestler and they're not dead. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, that is good.
He retired in 2008.
Okay. Oh, this is the tag title match.
Scott Steiner will have to face his brother Rick for 15 minutes.
Hey, Steven.
Team number 1, they represent the
Hey, Steven, what's up, man? What was the question? Mind my asking?
All right, about Billy Kidman or about
Well,
Japanese wrestling?
one,
Both
I asked
options.
who is the most well-known Japanese wrestler of all time in the United States. The second question was, what happened to Billy Kidman after his wrestling career was over? Because we neither of us has ever heard anything about him.
He's on Instagram.
And here comes the giant, my favorite giant, smoking cigarettes giant. You see him? That would never happen nowadays. The only people I ever saw smoke a cigarette in their entrance were the Sandman and the Giant.
He is apparently really into one wheeling.
Steven says Kid Kidman, I don't know who the fuck that is, working for WWE. Kid Kidman, who is that? Is that Scott Steiner taking the sign? Big Papa Pump rules all of wrestling. I was definitely a Scott Steiner fan at this point.
Oh, it was a typo. He's talking about Kidman. That's cool.
Typo. Okay. Kidman works for WWE. Okay. I didn't know that. Kay was looking him up right now.
I learned what one wheels were last week. Have you ever heard of those?
Oh, what?
They're called one wheels. It's like it's one wheel and you stand on either side of it, and it's like a skateboard but with one giant wheel. One of my students was very into it, and he built one out of Lego for a introduce yourself by building something out of Lego that has to do with you thing.
Never heard of it. So we got, Scott Steiner and the Giant of NWO Hollywood taking on Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell for the World Tag Team titles. And if Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell win, Rick Steiner gets 15 minutes in the ring with his brother Scott.
It's almost like brother against brother is a good idea for matches.
My lord. Almost.
One day we will play Book It and do it live so you guys can watch. It is a wrestling card game where you play a manager and booker of your own wrestling company. It's awesome. And we like to introduce our matches that we're having for our shows when you build the cards for your shows. And I always do sibling rivalries, and Asa hates it.
Yeah.
But I always win, so undefeated.
Yeah.
Literally undefeated.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
So for those of you just joining us, Halloween Havoc 98, we are 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 15 seconds in.
In case you're wondering, the name of my fictitious wrestling company is Rip Roar and Wrestling, and we're from Nolans.
And I change my company's name every time because I lose.
Yeah.
It's a really fun game. They have most, if not all, of the wrestlers. Now they have fake names and a different kind of look, but all of them are real wrestlers. From the Indies, from AEW, from WWE,
New Japan.
New Japan. Yeah, they're mostly current wrestlers.
Do you want me to grab some cards?
No,
Okay.
mostly current wrestlers, and like she said, you book. She books her company, I book my company, and basically whoever has the most like star power involved in the matches, and like the best matchups, like a technical wrestler is good with another technical wrestler, blah blah blah. You get more points, and then you win. You beat the other person. So very cool game, and as she said, we will play it online at some point so people can see it. And again, it's called Book It. And if you like wrestling, if you like playing like booking computer games or whatever,
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play a booker, and you can even play it by yourself and see if you can beat your own scores and stuff like that. So very fun game,
Yeah,
very
and
fun.
you choose a different location every time, and the different locations have different like power ups
Right.
involved with them. There's a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
Like you choose a style for your company.
Yeah.
And you get like more points for using wrestlers with that style. Mine is a hardcore style.
Yeah, and it's like if you run hardcore matches in Philly, you get a bit more points than if you run a hardcore match in New York.
Yeah.
Things like that. Very cool game. Yeah, we should play it soon. We should
Yeah.
play it very
And
soon.
I used to bought little mini belts so that we can pick our champions. And we put little belts on our champion cards. It's super fun. I'm very competitive.
We need to reduce the number of belts.
There's two.
Yeah, maybe it's fine.
There's a men's belt and a women's, isn't there? No, there's just a belt. There's just one.
Maybe we should do a men and women's.
I think we do a regular and a TV, don't we?
Yeah. Well, we had
Or like we have two belts, like a main belt and a
you.
secondary
You would
belt.
name them yourself, but we would have
Oh, yeah,
two.
yeah.
We would have two. Steven says Kidman is a producer. Okay, that's cool. I had never heard that. Yeah, very cool. I'm glad. Kidman, very good wrestling mind, very good wrestler. Uh, I think he was kind of underrated. Honestly, I thought he was a very good cruiserweight.
Talk about the lack of respect that he has.
Here we got Big Papa Pump hammering down on his bro Rick.
Steiner is so volatile.
What?
Did you see what he just said
What?
in the comments, babe?
Who? In the comments?
Yeah, what Steven said.
Did you see the insane ticket prices for Mania in Vegas? Front row ringside. Holy shit. Front
Yeah.
row ringside both nights. $50,000 a ticket.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's insane. Second and third row, $30,000 a ticket. I will definitely pass. Yeah, fuck that. That's crazy, man.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
give
Yeah.
your money to fucking charity. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like,
Or AEW. Go to an AEW show and then give the rest to charity. For real, yeah. That's crazy.
Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah. That's just like a cash grab and like totally taking out the main audience of your shows. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And Buff Bagwell turns on Rick Steiner and he's dancing. And Buff Bagwell is not leaving NWO Hollywood. He is still in the NWO, and Rick Steiner lays beaten on the mat. Buff Bagwell is running away.
He runs out of the arena after attacking Rick Steiner, leaving Rick alone with two men.
And Steven says here, what's crazy about it is people will buy the tickets. Yeah, they will. Yeah, it's crazy. But like Kay said, yeah, fuck that. Don't encourage that. You got better ways you can spend your money. As she said, give it to charity.
It's
Like if you're gonna pay that kind of money, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, give it to charity. You feel a lot better about yourself, and it will matter as opposed to going to a wrestling show. That's insane. Those prices are literally insane. No, I had not heard that yet. That's crazy.
Oh, that like makes me mad.
Where are they having it in Vegas? At the as this is in Vegas, what we're watching now, and at the MGM Grand in Vegas is that can't be where they're having WrestleMania. And Steven says AEW is cheaper. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we just went to see Dynamite, live Dynamite, and a Rampage taping. And it came out, with parking and everything and fees. It basically came out to $150 for the two of us.
Mm-hmm. But we have pretty good seats.
And we got good seats. So that's only $75 a person. I mean, that's pretty reasonable
Plus, like,
to have good seats. Yeah.
$50,000 doesn't include Ticketmaster fees. That's like what half of a ticket is now.
We have no use for him.
Steven says Allegiant Stadium. Oh fuck, duh. Where the Raiders play. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. In my mind, the Raiders are still in Oakland. I always forget they're in Las Vegas now.
Is it? Do you think it's that? Like, do you think they're able to like go that insane with the prices because it's Cena's last Mania, according to Cena?
They have gone to
No, I know. Just they're hot.
Oh.
They're hot and they're abusing it. Yeah, that's it. They're hot right now and they're abusing it.
This was the
It's just a money grab.
match. And this charade.
Maybe has something to do with Cena. I mean, kayfabe. He is kayfabe, one of the greatest of all time. He has 16 world titles, so he's tied Ric Flair there with the most belts. But what's more impressive, the number of title reigns or like the combined days of title reigns?
I think the most impressive thing is the number of matches you had defending your titles during your title reigns.
Well, that would make sense. Yeah, so that would go to, I think, either Hulk Hogan or Bruno Sammartino. I think number of defenses. Yeah, one of those two got to be. Because Hulk Hogan had, between WWF and WCW, had a bunch of reigns, and would defend it. And WWF would defend it a lot. They did a lot of shows in the 80s and early 90s. WWF. Hey Jesse, what's up? He says, I'm glad I got the notification you guys are streaming again tonight. Yeah, I did a thing on X. I did a post. Y'all were very welcoming last time. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, glad to have everybody. Definitely glad to have repeat viewers. It's fun to be able to talk to folks. And Steven says no one's beating Sammartino's record. Yeah, I hope not.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, the Giant is doing a top rope move.
I'm scared for them.
Oh, it was a drop kick, and he hit Steiner, Scott Steiner. Rick Steiner got out of the way. Yeah, Steven, he says no one's beating Sammartino's record. Yeah, if y'all don't know, I think Sammartino had the belt, the first time for 4 years? Is it?
Are you asking me?
I got my book right here. I got my little book.
This quick reference guy.
The 2000 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts, because I'm old, but it's got all the old, Rick Steiner won a single match. So now Rick Steiner, a singles wrestler, is now the World Tag Team Champions.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
He won the tag team titles by himself. He gets to pick his partner eventually. And I believe he picks Kenny Chaos.
That's even dumber than MJF retaining the titles against the Righteous when he was wrestling them by himself.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Bruno Sammartino. First title reign. Oh, his first title reign was from 1963 to 1971. His second title reign was from 1973 to 1977. So combined, he had the belt two times for combined 12 years. So I don't think anybody's beating Sammartino's record. No.
Maybe if some kind of apocalypse happens and wrestling is no longer televised and it once again becomes like a traveling show.
Yeah.
In Fear of the Walking Dead, there was a professional wrestler that had a professional wrestling school that she and her husband ran in the zombie apocalypse. It was very interesting.
During the apocalypse still?
Well, no. I mean, that's where they were holing up during the apocalypse.
Oh. Did they train anyone during the apocalypse?
I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to tune into the over show.
Oh, Rick Steiner just hit the shit out of his brother. So they have now Rick Steiner won the tag title match, and now he gets 15 minutes in the ring with his brother Scott. And if you're just joining us, or if you somehow got off your time, We are at 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 33 seconds.
I found it's not going to last. I'm at 24%.
Do you need to plug it in?
I can't.
Oh, right. I always forget that.
Yeah. Well, maybe I sat far away from you.
Too close to the rope, so.
Because
I don't think that. No, that's not going to work.
What Rick Steiner wanted to do.
I don't think
Oh, Scott Steiner with an explicit low blow on Rick Steiner. The referee does nothing.
Steiner gets the advantage over the top and Sam Rick down.
Okay. That's weird. I mean, that usually is a disqualification.
Is this a real match then?
I don't know what's going on with this. Yeah. It's going off the rails. We got matches on the spur of the moment. We got singles wrestlers winning the tag team belts. We've got a
And this is before Rusev?
yes. We've got this is Eric Bischoff is the booker at this point. Is the head booker.
Doing great.
Well, I believe. I could be wrong here. I believe Kevin Sullivan was maybe the main booker, the main writer, call it. But everything had to go past Bischoff, and then everything involving Hulk Hogan had to go through Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan had creative control. Whoa! Nice move there.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan had creative control in his contract, so. As I said, his WCW contract. So everything that he did had to be approved by him, which is, well, and his popularity is why he won the world title so many times. Now we have someone in a Bill Clinton mask. So he was the president in 1998. Who do we don't know who this is? It's not a very good Bill Clinton match. And their mask, and there's Stevie Ray handed him the slapjack. The slapjack. Oh my God! The referee just got smacked with that. Who is it? Buff Bagwell. And we got disqualification, so I don't know what happened here.
Buff Bagwell knocked the referee out with a slapjack.
What? And Buff Bagwell has now become the referee's puppet master?
But he only got a 2 count.
Somehow? I don't know. Title, the show gets back on the rails after this match, I believe. We're kind of out of control. Bam! Frankensteiner. Yeah, Scott Steiner's so good. Oh. And nope, only a 2 count.
Aw, poor little Nate.
But again, only a 2 count.
I like the deposit of the ref. I like that.
Now both men back into it again.
Oh my God.
That was a bad swing by Buff Bagwell there.
What was
Oh.
that?
I don't know.
How many minutes he fought tonight? How many times did we count him up? How many
Did not sound like you said fought.
He's still alive.
And Rick Steiner wins 2 matches. So Rick Steiner wrestled twice. Scott Steiner wrestled twice. Disco Inferno wrestled twice on this show. And Rick Steiner is an individual with the World Tag Team titles.
From other members of NWO Black and White to reign supreme as the top dog in the Steiner family.
Go ahead, start barking.
Coming up next, Paul against
Up next, we got Scott Hall versus Kevin Nash. We still have Bret Hart versus Sting for the U.S. title. We got Hogan versus Warrior, and we have Goldberg versus DDP for the world title. Jesse here says, may I ask where you got the name for your channel, like the meaning, inspiration? Well, at first I was going to do I did a horror site. And actually Kay came up with the name.
Originally, it was No Bones About It.
Together by this year.
Because I thought he could cover like wrestling.
No, it was No Bones About.
No, you changed it to that.
Oh,
The one
okay.
I suggested was No Bones About It, because he could cover horror and wrestling and whatever he wanted, and it could kind of fit under that.
Well, first it came with, I said, I want to do the ratings in bones.
Yeah.
And then she came up with that name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we watched a lot of horror movies, and so whenever we watched it, he would always tell me what he thought of it in Bones, and so I thought No Bones About It, like, because he was just like such a good expert on things, and so that's kind of where it came from. Plus, we love spooky shit, and skeletons are spooky.
And then
he changed it to No Bones About Horror.
And then we changed it to No Bones About Wrestling. So that's why.
Yeah.
That's a long story about why we rate matches in bones.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have anything to do with wrestling, but where's our skeleton? There he is, over there.
Our mascot.
We got a skeleton over here. You can there you go, barely see his head. We got some Halloween decorations going. I got the jack o' lanterns behind me. We'll have more go up as October comes.
And if you're interested in some of his horror stuff, you can go to our website, and it still has all of his horror stuff there, as well as new wrestling stuff.
Yeah, if you go to www.nobonesabout.com, it has, as she said, it has all my horror reviews, and it has all of our wrestling stuff, audio podcasts, video podcasts, everything we've done is on that website, nobonesabout.com. And we're going to have AEW title histories and pay-per-view card and big card histories on there as well. So I will definitely tell y'all to check it out when that goes on. Should be very soon. Yes.
Yeah.
Then I've got this little skeleton here.
Maybe
This guy may be our mascot. I don't know.
If you have any name ideas for him, feel free to
Not yet.
tell us that.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet?
Oh, them.
No,
They can, if they have
yeah,
names. Yeah.
They should suggest names.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. So yeah, if y'all have a name for our mascot, go for it. Yeah, we can hang him up somewhere.
Yeah.
He's got a. Oh fuck! Knocking things down. He's got a hook on him. So this is where they're doing the Scott Hall is an alcoholic angle. I don't really care for this. Steven says, how many inches did we get from the hurricane? Inches of rain he's talking about. I don't know.
That's a good question. Yeah, we've had more wind. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been raining nonstop, but as far as like hard rain, we haven't really had that here. In Western North Carolina, like one of my coworkers, his son's cars, like all of the cars at their college are like underwater. You can see barely the top of their roof.
Yeah, what Appalachian State University.
But here, like our tree, we have a tree down outside our house, and power lines are down. But that's more from the wind.
Yeah, we have power lines down across our driveway. We're at like a yeah. So we can't go anywhere right now.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess with down power lines. So yeah, we can't go anywhere. And then if we could go anywhere, one side of our street is blocked by a big tree that fell totally across, blocking the street.
Yeah.
And then we had a power pole right over here, right over that way. Fall, and it's like at a 45-degree angle now, kind of pointed at our house. But if it falls, I don't think it's going to hit
I don't
us.
think it'll reach it. But
Yeah, just a lot of fucking wind fucked things up. And as we said, we slept through all of it.
yeah.
And I think most of that happened early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So so this is where Scott Hall's an alcoholic, and he just threw whatever he was drinking, threw it in Nash's face. And I think Nash, here he's the leader of the Wolf Pack. I think he has said he doesn't want to fight Scott.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what this match will be like. So Steven said of rain. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Steven Chambers says Smoky Mountains got over 9 inches. Holy shit. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And with the
what you're going for.
climate change, happening, we're going to see more and more of these hurricanes and tropical storms come further inland like this. Like this one it was a tropical depression, I think, and it got all the way up to Kentucky, out of the Gulf of Mexico up to Kentucky, and so that shit didn't used to happen, but it's happening now. So that's pretty scary. Yeah,
It's weird.
and like it left 28 people so far, 28 people dead. That's the count. No, total. Yeah.
It's weird, like the alumni groups I belong to and stuff for the college I went to in Asheville, they were posting pictures earlier this week, 20 years ago when I was in college. Our college campus flooded because of 2 hurricanes that hit like back to back. And I went to a school that was also a farm school. It had like a working farm run by students on it. And there was so much rain that students were like kayaking in like the cow pastures, and they had to swim out to save the pigs from drowning at the farm. So first of all, don't swim in floodwater because that's disgusting. But also, isn't that crazy? Like we lost power for a week and stuff, but it's 20 years, like almost to the day from when it happened when I was in school. Weird.
Let's see. Jesse says if you can pick one superstar from WCW who never got to work in WWF, WWE, would have excelled on the current main roster today. Huh, that's an interesting question.
Once you drag your big butt back
I feel like I have to look at a roster to be able to answer this. This is an ASA question. I do not have the wrestling history knowledge to be able to answer this.
I'm going to think about that. Let's see. Steven Chambers says, I'm going to think about your question, Jesse. I'll get back to it. Steven says, I live in northern Mississippi. Okay. Been windy and raining all day. I hope it doesn't do there what it did here. I guess it's pretty much already gone there. The bad part, the worst part.
Well, I assume the Mississippi River is having some issues because that floods fairly often, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. Jesse says, I asked that question dyslexic as fuck. My bad.
You're fine.
No, I think I got it. If you can pick one superstar from WCW who never got to work in WWE, who would have excelled on the main roster today? No, I got it. Yeah, let's see. Give me a second. I'm not thinking about it. It's still here. We have Scott Hall just beating Kevin Nash's ass because Nash refuses to fight. And the gimmick is that the Hall is drunk. Oh man, that's just a tough question.
Nash just pushed him away. But a fight left in Big Sexy, yes.
Does NWA count as WCW, or does it just?
I think we'll just go with WCW because that opens too many people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think the cruiserweight and high flyer wrestling, I think it's seen as more of a draw today than it was in the 90s. We have super popular wrestlers, like Will Ospreay and Ricochet, and who in the WWE is a high flyer?
I don't know. Ricochet
Gotta be somebody. Gotta be somebody. So I'm gonna go. Maybe this is a weird answer. But I'm gonna go with Psychosis, who was I believe was a WCW Cruiserweight champion at one point, but he was, from Mexico. He was a luchador, and like you said, I think the high flyer stuff, and he took a lot of risks. He was crazy. He was maybe the craziest of the luchadors in WCW. I just think his style would definitely get him over today. So, yeah, I'm going to say Psychosis. Yeah. And let's see. Steven says Scott Norton. That's a good answer. Yeah. Yeah, Scott Norton was he was in WCW. He was in the NWO Hollywood, and just the regular NWO at first. And he always was good. They didn't let him wrestle a whole lot, but he was big in Japan. I know that he was very big in Japan. Scott Norton. He was just like a barrel of a man, and yeah, very strong. Yeah, that's a good answer. He was very strong, but very quick for his size. So yeah, I think that's a good answer. He would definitely be the kind of wrestler that WWE could use today. Yeah.
Scott Hall's edge and Kevin Nash with the jackknife powerbomb. Both men have tried their finishing maneuvers, and as you would expect, the familiarity of both men.
So I think finally, yeah, Scott Hall has bloodied Nash's mouth, and finally Kevin Nash is fighting back.
He shouldn't do that.
What? Beat up his drunk friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably shouldn't. Jesse says, I saw Chris Canyon, formerly known as Mortis, wrestle at a radio show with like 30 people. I was like 12 and remember seeing him in WCW. My bro didn't get why I was excited. Yeah, that's a very cool. Yeah, and I don't know if you were watching earlier, but he ran in. What match was that with Raven? I think it was during the Chris Jericho and Raven match.
Maybe, I'm not
And
sure.
Chris Canyon ran in, and he was on screen for maybe 20 seconds. But yeah, I was talking about when he showed up. I was talking about how unique he was, and how he always seemed to be coming up with new moves. Chris Canyon, and yeah, I still think his contributions to wrestling were underrated. Yeah, very good wrestler, Chris Canyon. And was I think he was one of the trainers on the set for WCW the movie Ready to Rumble, I believe. I believe, yeah.
And not only that has led to this bitter rivalry.
That movie's weird.
Yeah,
It's purchased it recently and we watched it.
it's fun. Oh, that would be fun to do a watch along.
I thought that's what you bought it for, and then you were like, "We're watching this tonight."
Ready to Rumble, which Eric Bischoff thought was going to be a big thing, and wasn't. But I went to see it in the theaters, and for the most part, I enjoyed it. It's a fun movie.
I just remembered a horror icon is supposed to make an appearance at some point.
Well, I think it got cut out.
I
think it got cut out. So
no.
Yes, I think it did. I'm not gonna say yet. It got cut out because I don't remember when it came. So keep it under wraps.
You're super safe with me.
But I feel like if it came out, yeah, I was saying there's a horror icon who appeared at Halloween Havoc. If you know who it is, don't say it. Don't spoil it for other people. Yeah, a great horror icon. But I think they've edited it out. But I don't want to say it for sure yet. Jesse says, and I loved your Psychosis answer. Him and, yeah, Super Crazy got me into ECW. Yeah, Super Crazy was awesome. He was, in fact, super and crazy. So it was a very fitting name for him.
I didn't realize that was a person. I thought I was just saying that. I thought I was saying that Super Psychosis was super crazy. But
no, there was a guy named Super Crazy in ECW, and he was awesome. Very good high flyer. Would jump like off the balconies and shit, and do backflips off the balconies and just wild stuff.
I've never seen a full episode of ECW, which I feel like is gonna have to change at some point. But
It'll change. Yeah.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, I've just shown her
so like bloody.
some stuff. I've just seen her. I've just shown her some Rob Van Dam matches.
And Sabu.
Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn matches. And Sabu was a tag match, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe.
Probably Rob Van Dam and Sabu versus someone.
I'm gonna have to watch it with earplugs though if that fucking whistle's there. Oh my god, I hate that guy.
Fonzie.
Ugh.
Good to see.
Like, how did no one choke him to death with that whistle?
He was a ref in WCW for a while. Steven says, I know who it is.
Oh, the horror icon.
Oh yeah. Don't say it. Like I said, I think it got edited out here on the network, but I'm not giving up yet. I don't remember when it happened.
That's uncalled
I
for.
think I remember. Well, excuse me. I think I remember when it happened, but if I'm wrong, I don't want to say.
He's like fake drinking and then punching him. Rude. Uncaring.
Scott Hall so weary.
And Jesse says the tables and chairs were dope, but when I saw Psychosis give Spike Dudley that driver onto the edge of the apron, I was sold. Yeah. ECW at the time.
He predicted.
Oh, I don't know which one I liked more, WCW or ECW, but I liked them both more than WWF. But WWF at the time was cool too. I mean, that was the '90s. The late '90s were just awesome if you're a wrestling fan. But yeah, ECW I loved. It's sad, all these stories that have come out about Paul Heyman. He seems like he is not a good guy.
Oh no, what are you talking about? Like recently?
Yeah, I mean he supposedly stole the credit card number of Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch and booked numerous airplane flights on it and essentially sent them into bankruptcy and never paid them back.
Oh, did this like just come out now? I've not heard this before.
No.
Oh.
It was on the Dark Side of the Ring for Chris Candido.
I don't know who that is.
He was an ECW wrestler. He was a WWF wrestler.
That's real shitty.
He was Skip in WWF, a fitness expert.
I didn't think I'd missed that many Dark Side of the Rings, but I definitely didn't see that one.
No, I don't think you did. I'm not sure if you did.
Yeah, my phone's supposed to that. I'm gonna back up.
Yeah, Paul Heyman just seems to not be a good person, and he missed paychecks and ECW, and you can't really be a business owner and be doing that. If you do that, you just need to close. If you can't pay people, that means you shouldn't be in business. Steven says WWE versus WCW versus ECW invasions back in the day, great feuds. Yeah, definitely. Oh, Jackknife, another one by Nash. Definitely not the match fans were hoping for for Nash versus Hall, because of Hall doing the Kevin Nash doing the suck it gesture. Oh, and leaving apparently.
Oh, he's not gonna pin him.
But yeah, Nash and Hall would do the suck it gesture because they were friends with Triple H and X-Pac and Shawn Michaels and the Clique. Those five guys were the Clique. Oh wait, did I say everybody? Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, X-Pac. Yeah. Those guys were the Clique.
Mm-hmm.
Who were, huh?
Is that much?
Yep. And there's K Fabulous back with us.
As a result of a
Sorry, StreamYard updated all their stuff, and now my phone dies very quickly.
We gotta figure out what's up with that.
Yeah, I can't change the data settings. That's all.
I think you need a new phone. I think it's time for a new phone, my dear. Trying to not be that close to the thing.
Hold him in midair on that second jackknife.
And there's Sam.
Drove him down to the canvas.
Oh, that's Sammy.
There's Sam. Oh, there's Sam. Horror icon Sam from Trick or Treat.
We watched it last night.
Yes, we did.
It's such a great kickoff to Halloween movie.
Definitely.
Trick or treat, not trick or treat.
This is just sad. Scott Hall stumbling around the ring. This was a tasteless angle, really. Taking his real life drug and alcohol problems and turning it into a wrestling angle. That's not. I don't like that at all.
Stopped it. When Jeff Hardy was in WWE 5 years ago or something, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
With Jeff Hardy. And like Sheamus was like bringing him to bars, trying to get him to drink, you know? Like that.
So wait, who won?
No one, he didn't pin him
No, I think Scott Hall won.
because of a count out.
Count out. Yeah, I think Scott Hall won.
Yeah.
The Neon Nitro girl. Oh, now, come on.
I like that other song we heard a little while ago. You talking about the kids' break? Oh, yeah.
They look like NPCs.
Yeah.
Shock. We've seen a little bit of everything here tonight, and by golly, we are not done yet. We got the big ones to come.
Yes, we have. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had 8 matches already.
Hollywood, Hogan, and Warrior, DDP, and Goldberg are all still on the horizon.
Are those the only two that are left?
3 matches left, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match at Snickers Halloween Havoc.
Here comes Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, we got the U.S. title, Hogan versus Warrior, and the world title match. Three left, yeah.
Is the Hogan and Warrior match my go get something to eat match?
Yes, definitely, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see it again. I haven't seen it in a while.
World's greatest liar.
Oh, Bret Hart? Is that what it said?
That's it, yeah. Sniffer. 316. What is that, man?
Man, back in the day, back in like 98, 99, everybody brought fucking posters to shows. It was crazy. Everybody did. I did. I was like, yeah, it was like high school back then. Steven Chambers says Road Dogg. Yeah, I guess he was a member too. Definitely. He was like the 6th member of the clique. Yeah, for sure. Maybe Billy Gunn too. I don't know, but yeah, Road Dogg definitely was, and those guys are still close. Yeah, I was a big DX fan in high school. I loved him.
I'm not a big DX fan. I find them rude. Which I think was the point of them.
Yeah, I don't know how many matches you've seen though.
A DX?
Yeah, I mean like. If you saw some New Age Outlaws matches and X-Pac matches, I think you would like them better.
Well, like, they still came out to, when I started watching wrestling in 2010 or so, approximately. Shawn Michaels was still wrestling, and so was Triple H, and they would come out to the DX music sometimes together. I did not care for it. Maybe it's just because I don't like Triple H.
Yeah, I'm not a Triple H fan either. Let's see. He may be the most overrated wrestler of all time. I'm gonna say that Triple H. Jesse says WCW and ECW had their pulse on hip hop music in the '90s, and now it's the most popular music across all sports, not just WWE. Yeah, that's for sure. Yep. And this was the best WCW hip hop song, the NWO Wolfpack entrance to me. But yeah, WCW Monday Nitro eventually had a DJ live at the Nitro shows. His name was either DJ Run or DJ Ran. I think it was DJ Run. Anyways, he was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Really weird seeing Sting with a goatee.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Sting with a goatee. I don't know how many times I've seen that. And his NWO Wolfpack makeup. And Hart came out with a U.S. title. Yeah. Hart's the champion.
9 World Heavyweight Championships just between these two men. Bret Hart, 5-time champion, Sting, 4-time World Heavyweight champion.
That's only in singles competition. They've got United States champion.
Should be a good one.
And U.S. title is at stake.
Tonight, Sting making
Bret Hart, for my money, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Like,
nicely stays in the ring.
top 5, definitely.
He'll use it. Tonight's been a night of big-time matches for titles, but personal vendettas tonight have been the issue. They have transcended the actual titles. And that, in this
What?
sport, titles
Oh.
have always been the
Jesse says, I love DX. Yeah. Seeing Kane and X-Pac together as a team got me in so much in high school because I guess even in trouble in high school because I consistently drew pictures and wrote storylines during class. That's cool.
I wish I had students that were wrestling fans.
Yeah.
It's the dream right there.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah.
That is the exception to the personal issues.
That's cool. I did a lot of fantasy booking myself, but I did most of mine on a computer game that you can still get for free. It's called Promotion Wars. Well, actually, there's two very good ones. One is called Extreme Warfare 9000, uh, or Extreme Warfare Deluxe, which was a sequel. I like 9000 better. And Promotion Wars was another one. And I think they're still out there to get for free if you want them. And if you like fantasy booking, check those games out. Very cool. And you can get classic rosters for them. You can get modern rosters for them. Like some people have like kept them alive by making rosters. So that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, those games are great if you like booking. And you can book storylines on there. And book a push and book feuds. You know, you got to get a feud so hot. It's very cool game, and it keeps up merchandise sales. You know, and all this stuff, and yeah, just a lot of fun. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
And if you're interested in look at the card game we were talking about earlier, it's made by Foam Hammer Games. And they're currently working on a tag team expansion game.
maybe a Champions expansion. I'm not sure about that, but a tag team one they are doing. Yeah.
Now they pick up just where they left off on the recent Nitro. That brawl that
But yeah, DX. I love DX. I had when I was in high school. I had a DX. What's it called? A throw?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Let's go through. Yeah.
A throw
Blanket.
where it was knitted, and it had Triple H, China, X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn, and the DX logo, and we kept it on our couch. That's ridiculous. And now I realize how fucking ridiculous that was. My parents actually let me do that, but whatever.
We have an NWO bedspread in our bedroom.
True.
So you're keeping the weirdness alive.
It's not on our bed.
It used to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it could be again.
It could be again. It's
Could be
right
again.
there.
I think our other throw is better than that.
That's warmer.
Yeah.
He needs not only
It's because it's not like 40 years old or something. 30 years old.
Yeah.
payback as far as heart is concerned.
Let's see. 26 years old. Yeah.
The best there is.
It's not. I think it's in WCW and NWO bedspread. I don't think it's just NWO.
Is there just there's always isn't it always WCW if you're talking about NWO?
No.
They were in the NWO.
Ooh.
I mean, they were in WCW. The NWO was.
Yeah.
So isn't everything NWO also WCW?
No.
You'll have to explain this to me sometime.
Well, there was some merchandise that was just NWO stuff. Just had pictures of NWO guys.
DDT.
And there was even a pay-per-view that the NWO put on called NWO Sold Out, where they hosted and they invited the WCW guys, and like they wouldn't play the WCW guys' music, entrance music, and shit like that. And only the bravest WCW guys came to the pay-per-view, and part of it was in black and white, and just all this stuff.
Weird. Huh?
Yeah, it was a very different style pay-per-view.
In the late 90s, right before the turn of the millennium.
Sometimes I feel like my experience in wrestling is like that of like an anthropologist, where it's like this whole culture that existed that I was totally unaware of, that I just like discover new things about constantly. It's very fascinating.
Well, good. I'm glad you see it that way.
Yeah.
It is definitely like that. Yeah, for sure.
On a consistent level to get those.
When you start looking at eras that you didn't watch growing up, it definitely is like that. Yeah.
And like there's even like a whole other like language almost that like only only wrestling folk understand. It's
Yeah.
very, very interesting.
That is so uncharacteristic of the Bret Hart we've known down through the year.
But yeah, this is heel Bret Hart. We got headbutts to the base of the spine.
Exactly where he's applying those headbutts to the lower back.
I really prefer face Bret Hart, honestly, but heel Bret Hart's cool too.
Of an eventual sharpshooter.
He just totally changed his wrestling style, and man, he's one of the best at using his wrestling style to tell you who his character is, tell you what his character is. Bret Hart. Just, I have nothing negative to say about Bret Hart.
I have something negative to say about
What?
Bret Hart.
Well, just keep it to your fucking self.
I don't like how judgy he is about AEW.
No.
It sucks.
Well, he had a concussion and then a stroke. I don't think he can help himself. He seems to be like permanently in a grumpy mood nowadays,
Yeah.
and a very negative person nowadays, and it's sad. I saw something where he was smiling recently, but I don't know what it was. But yeah, he seems to be.
Generated photograph.
I don't think so.
Checking.
But yeah, he's seems to be very very sad and bitter man now, and that's just very sad that he's ended up that way. It all started with Goldberg. It was actually 2 months after. Wait, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was at Starrcade '99. Goldberg did a kick and kicked him in the head, kicked him right in the head, right in the side of the head. He gave him a concussion that really the effects like never went away for him for some reason. That's how concussions work for some people.
Well, it also probably wasn't his first concussion.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yes. I'm sure it was one of many concussions. Maybe it's just the last straw for his brain. But yeah, he was never the same after that, and he retired. I mean, that's what caused his retirement.
Yeah. Well, the more concussions you have, the more susceptible you are to having concussions.
Yeah, that's what they say. Oh, Sting's got him. And yeah, we have the battle. Sting with the Scorpion Deathlock and Bret Hart with the Sharpshooter, which is the same move, except Sting stands up a little higher when he does it, and Bret Hart kind of sits down on his opponent when he does it.
Which do you think would be more painful?
Bret Hart's, for sure. I have been put in both of them in reality, and Bret Hart, definitely, when you sit down and pull back, that hurts way more, yeah, I think.
Who did that too?
Friends.
Oh, yeah, we need to show PCW at some point.
Yeah.
Those of you unaware, Asa used to have a public access wrestling show called PCW, Piedmont Championship Wrestling, which I think is an actual wrestling company now, Piedmont Championship Wrestling.
It wasn't them.
Yeah. We have lots of VHS tapes and also lots of discs, right?
Yes.
Stuff on it, yeah.
But yeah, it was on public access, and it came on after Raw on Monday nights. After Raw and Nitro went off the air, it came on either 11:30. I think it was 12 o'clock. Maybe it came on because after a certain time on cable access, you could curse somehow. For some reason, you could curse. So we were like, fuck yeah, we want to be on when you can curse, And we developed a little following, and it was a lot of fun. Like signed autographs and shit. Shockingly.
It was like,
But yeah, I was big on backyard wrestling. We did that for several years.
and he really means like backyard, like there was not a ring.
Right, yes. No ring, just on the ground.
And
Fighting on the ground.
equipment.
Yeah, and playground equipment and wherever the fuck else we did it. In the woods and whatever. Well, we got Steven says, respect Bret as far as a wrestler, but what he's been saying as of late, don't care for him. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think, I think with the concussion and with his stroke, I think his mind has been so altered. I don't really hold him accountable for that. Yeah, because I think his brain is fucked up at this point, and I don't think he's in the right state of mind. I hate to say that, but it really changed who he is, and that's what made him so. It's just so negative now, and I think that's those things are what did that. Jesse says, hot take. The United States champion should be defended in the main event for the Great American Bash. Yeah. The Prestige shouldn't be categorized as mid card. I agree. Jabronis wear big gold all the time. Mm. Yeah, the United States title was very. Do we have it? Oh yeah, it's right down. It's right over there. You can't really tell, but we have. I'll get it. Uh,
He has to get it because I'm short.
Staying outside and Bret Hart follows him there. This is dangerous waters for Sting to be in. Remember how they fought in the back? A short time ago.
Also, if you're coming in late and you missed it, there's my Halloween Havoc T-shirt for the night, available on eBay. I forget the name of the seller, but if you really want one, I can look it up for you. Just let me know. But pretty good shirt. But yeah, I got a nice. I don't know if they sell these anymore. I bought these in the '90s. Um, Here's a replica of the my favorite version of the United States Championship. This is the one that Bret Hart was just carrying to the ring, and I think that one looks really great. To me, with the eagle and the flag there, it looks very. It looks important, like Jesse's saying, and right. It used to be a bigger belt, back in the day when like Wahoo McDaniel had it and Rowdy Roddy Piper and people like that, main eventers who just they weren't in the main event at the time, so they needed something to do. So they would maybe get the U.S. title. That's kind of what it used to be. And yeah, you're right. It changed into a mid card title, and that's not what it should be. Um, and like this, it's like Bret Hart, the fucking U.S. champion. Ric Flair's been U.S. champion, and that pedigree of the title is totally different now. Is it still around? It's still around, isn't it?
Which show?
U.S.
And
yeah,
WWF?
and WWF and WWE. Yeah, it's still around. So I don't know who it is now, but yeah, you're right. It's gone to a lot of people who just yeah don't measure up to what it used to be. Yeah. Jesse says the WCW US title is my favorite. My first Goldberg figure had it, and that's how I learned who Bret Hart was. Yeah, that was awesome when Bret Hart won the US title from Raven. That was April 20th, 1998 on Nitro, I think. What? LA Knight is the US champion. Okay, that's cool.
It's had 55 days, according to
55 days. All right, that's cool. I like him. That's legit. I think he deserves it. That's cool. But I know it's been on people who don't deserve it. But yeah, Goldberg. I think he was in a Ravens rules match because all of Ravens matches were Ravens rules, but he still beat the shit out of Raven and several of Raven's flock members. I think I think he hit the jackhammer on Big Ron Reese, who was like 7'3" or some shit. I think he had the jackhammer on him, and that was crazy. And then won the U.S. title, and I think it was in Denver. I could be wrong about that. And the fucking crowd went crazy, went insane. I mean, Goldberg. If you weren't around for it, yeah, you don't understand how popular Goldberg was. Maybe
And he took a whip
for a couple years, he might have been the most popular wrestler WCW ever had. And people just went insane over him.
and his head hit the
Steven says, "Oh, for a U.S. title, Nikita Koloff, yeah, Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Magnum TA, yeah, thank you. Those didn't come to my mind. Yeah, great examples there. Yeah, but yeah, the U.S. title, yeah, it used to mean so much. Uh, And like we said, with these people we named, right, we're basically main eventers. Yeah, winning the belt.
Look at this. It's dead weight. He's rolling over.
Even back in the '90s, I think it still had some pedigree in WCW. Dustin Rhodes had it. I know. I think Rick Rude might have had it. I can't recall. I don't think he did. Now that I think about it. But yeah, like I said, that's my favorite iteration. This was the '90s version. I just think it's one of my favorite looking WCW titles. That's for sure. Yeah, it looks kind of similar to the Eagle, the winged Eagle WWF belt a little. But yeah, I love how that looks. Oh, and this thing is knocked out, and Bret Hart keeps the U.S. title.
Wait, he wasn't a sharpshooter for so long that he passed out?
No, I think Bret Hart hit him with something, and he was knocked out. And they put him in the sharpshooter.
Oh gosh, thank you. Missed that. I was getting all the trivia.
Oh, you got trivia?
Yeah, I have some trivia.
Oh, okay.
It's not wrestling related. Is that like it's all Halloween or horror movie related? Do you want wrestling related trivia?
You can mix it up.
Oh,
Mix it up.
I was mixing Halloween and horror, but I can add. Give me a second to find some wrestling trivia then.
Get some WCW trivia. Well, WCW or Halloween Havoc trivia. If that's a site on the internet. Jesse says I'm 32, born in '92. The Intercontinental, European, and U.S. titles never felt less than back then. Yeah, I agree. I love the European title. I have that somewhere too. Somewhere around here, I have it. I just don't have it hung up. I love the look of that with all the flags. Yeah, it was cool. He says they never felt less than back then. They were defended pretty regularly. Yeah, definitely. And the Intercontinental title, right? I mean, just a ton of people. Same as the U.S. title. I mean, basically. Yeah, with like Razor Ramon and Jeff Jarrett and trying to think, the Ultimate Warrior. Rick Rude did have that one. I know. And yeah, just a great Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. A great run of Intercontinental champions, yeah, in the 80s and 90s, and probably in the 70s too. I'm not too familiar with that era, honestly. Yeah, 32. Okay, so not. I just assume everyone's young nowadays. We're 40, so we got you beat by a couple of years, but that was a depressing birthday. 40. For me, it was depressing. That's when you really feel like, oh, I'm dying. I'm on the death side of life now.
Most people live longer than 80, don't they?
Maybe most people of our age. I don't know.
So I found a hardest Halloween wrestling quiz you'll ever take page, but it's not showing you the answers. It gives you like multiple choice.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm just clicking on random things to get all the way through it to see if it gives you the answers eventually.
Steven says he's still naming U.S. champions, which that's cool. Says, yeah, Steve Austin, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yeah, they were both around like 1994-ish. Yeah, great U.S. champion. I love that period when Austin and Hacksaw were the U.S. champions. That was a great WCW period. And Steven says he's 50. Like I said, I always assume everybody's younger than us. Just because so many people in the internet wrestling community are. But yeah, when we do these retro things, I guess that maybe appeals to the older people. Who knows?
Yeah, that after
They're putting Sting on a stretcher.
It's not just coming to the retro things, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's with us all the time. Yeah. I don't think I've seen Sting taken out on a stretcher many times, or any other time, honestly.
Get this man out of the ring, so
okay.
We're going to just
Jesse says, "Oh shit, yeah, Kurt." Talking about Kurt Angle, another of just one of the best of all time. So talented. He says Kurt holding both the Intercontinental and European at the same time. Yeah, that was awesome. Carlito debuting on one brand, winning the U.S., then debuting on the other brand, winning the Intercontinental. Oh, I don't think I was watching then. I took a little break, and like when I was in college, I kind of took a little break. I didn't have any time to watch anything. Says winning the Intercontinental, facing Jericho and Cena mid card. Okay. Huh. Yeah, no, I definitely did not know that. That's cool. I like Carlito, all right. I definitely liked his gimmick, you know.
It never tells you the answers.
Oh.
It just like I was random like looking to get through it to get to the end where I assumed the answers would be. But it just tells you your percentage. Oh wait, no, here we go. Okay. You ready for some questions?
What is it? What is this?
So this is it's from whatculture.com. It's
Okay.
the hardest Halloween wrestling quiz you'll ever take.
Halloween wrestling.
That's what it says.
Okay.
Which ECW legend was in the crowd for Halloween Havoc 1989? Do you want to give them a chance to answer also, or do you want to just?
Yeah, I'll give them a chance to answer. But let's see. I mean, I don't know. You got to go faster than me.
Do you want the multiple choice?
No.
No. Okay.
Which ECW legend was in the crowd
Correct.
in 1989? Does it say they jumped into the ring or anything?
No, it just says in the crowd.
Was in the crowd at Halloween Havoc 89. Which ECW legend? I don't have a fucking clue. We just watched that today.
Yes, we did.
And I don't have a fucking clue who it is.
Anyone want to guess?
But yeah, going back to what Jesse said, Kurt Angle, I think, is one of the like top 20 ever for sure. Kurt Angle, I mean, just so great in the ring and on the mic. That guy was awesome, and won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Yeah, that shit was awesome when the gold medalist came and became an awesome pro wrestler too. That was such a fun time. See, Jesse says Carlito with his I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool gimmick would have paired well with Jericho's fireball throwing wizard gimmick. Yeah, that would be fun.
Like it.
That'd be fun.
Okay, you ready for
All right,
the answers?
so wait, does anybody know what ECW wrestler,
What ECW legend
ECW legend was in the ring,
in the crowd?
in the crowd, excuse me, at
Halloween Havoc.
Halloween Havoc 89. So it was in Philly. Nobody has guessed yet. I'm going to say the Sandman.
You are correct.
Bam.
Impressive. What year did John Cena? Wait.
Jesse says, imagine Carlito spitting in the face of everyone who Jericho didn't put on his list of cool people.
I like it.
Yeah, that would be a good team, definitely.
What year did John Cena dress as Vanilla Ice for Halloween?
What the fuck? How the fuck? Okay.
No, on television, babe. Not
No, I know.
Okay.
What year did John Cena dress as Vanilla Ice? I'm going to say... Anybody else out there, if you can beat me, if you can beat my guess, go for it. Get in before me. I'm going to say 2004? Anybody else got a guess? When did John Cena dress as Vanilla Ice on TV for Halloween? Jesse says 03.
Oh, 02 is correct.
Oh, well, you gave it away. We have other people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, fucking.
Well, I gave it I thought it said 02. I gave it a thumbs up before you said it said 03.
No, we got other people
Oh,
here.
I'm sorry. Well, I won't.
All right, 02.
I'll
That's
wait.
the answer.
I'll wait till you tell me to say the answer.
Yeah.
Which of these men? So this one, I guess, will be multiple choice. Which of these men haven't won a trick or street fight in WWE? Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Enzo Amore, or The Miz?
Haven't won a trick or street fight match.
Yes, in WWE.
I'm gonna say Enzo.
You are incorrect.
Oh,
Anyone
okay.
else want to guess?
Yeah.
Choices: Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. We've eliminated Enzo, or The Miz. Which one hasn't won a trick or street fight in WWE?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jesse said the Miz.
She is correct.
Oh, nice. Jesse got it. I'm sorry, we don't have any prizes tonight. I'm sorry.
This was impromptu
I
trivia.
think we may in the closer we get to Halloween, I think we will have some prizes. So yeah. All right, get one more. The Ultimate Warrior's coming out. Ask one more right now.
Which superhero did Kurt Angle dress as for Halloween last year? I think they said it was from 2018.
2018.
I want to say.
Captain America.
You are correct.
Yeah, had to be. Had to be.
I
I did not know that. That was a total guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here comes the Warrior. He's running to the ring. Oh, what's happened? What's happening?
No, he's just warrioring it up.
Oh, he's just warrioring it up. Oh, okay. He's gonna tire himself out before the match starts. So yeah, if you weren't with us earlier and you didn't hear, the Ultimate Warrior had a rights battle when he left WWF. He had a rights battle with Vince McMahon over the name Ultimate Warrior. So what he did, Jim Hellwig, the actor, the actor who plays the wrestler Ultimate Warrior, what he did was he legally changed his name to Warrior in all capital letters. So then he was like, "Well, you can't tell me I can't use it now. It's my fucking name." So he beat them on a technicality that way. So he is not Ultimate Warrior here. He is Warrior.
I love any instances of people sticking it to the man, you know?
Sticking it to the McMahon.
No, to any man.
Yeah, I definitely.
But, of course, that includes McMahon.
Okay, they're messing around. Ask another.
All right. Who attempted to save Hulk Hogan from the Yeti at Halloween Havoc 1995?
Who attempted to save Hulk Hogan from the Yeti at Halloween Havoc 95?
Yes.
I should know that.
You absolutely should know this.
I've seen that so many times, and I cannot think of who it was. Jesse says Kurt Angle as the Golden Luchador will always be hilarious. I have no idea what you're talking about. It sounds funny. I don't know that.
You don't have a guess for it?
I was waiting for somebody else to guess.
Oh,
Yeah, who? Oh, yeah, who? Well, I'll ask it one more time. Who came out to help Hulk Hogan when he was being attacked by the Yeti at Halloween Havoc 95? I'm going to say Brutus Beefcake, the disciple.
Incorrect.
So Jesse's hook says a Yeti. No. So what it was, it was a mummy.
Yes.
It's like a 7-foot tall mummy because it was Ron Reese, I think. Who I mentioned earlier was in Raven's Flock. There's a 7-foot tall mummy who looked like he was dressed in toilet paper, and he walked like this to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But they called him not the Yeti, the Yeti.
Yeah.
But he was a mummy. Obviously was a mummy, but they called him the Yeti. Right. It didn't make any fucking
odd,
sense.
yeah.
It was really strange. Okay, Jesse says Mr. Perfect.
No.
No. Nope. And now we have the. Anybody else want to guess? Let's see. Jesse says only Mr. Perfect can stronghold a goddamn Yeti. I love Mr. Perfect. He was when I was a kid. He was one of the first heels that I liked. Mr. Perfect, definitely, because I thought he was funny. All his vignettes, where he'd like throw the football a long ways, and he'd turn to the camera and be like, "Perfect." Yeah, I loved him. Kurt Hennig died before his time, and that's sad. I forget what he died of, but yeah, that's sad. All right, so what's the answer? Who came and helped Hulk Hogan?
Randy Savage.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. We got the match now. So let's.
I like how Halloweeny the Warrior is.
Yeah, the trivia is fun, but let's go to rest now.
Yeah, that's fine. We're between matches.
Warrior and Hogan both steroided out of their minds here. Because they're both 40 something, right?
You're asking me? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I think they're both 40 something. Oh, I think I might have their birthdays.
And his.
Yes, I do.
2000,
In my 2000 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts. This shit is a good resource here. If you care about wrestling, from before 24 years ago.
Anytime you say the word almanac, I like automatically think of Back to the Future.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Part 2.
Okay, so Hogan.
Something I'm sure you'll never forget. When he breaks the match with him here tonight.
Hogan, born August 11th, 1953. 73, 83, 93. So he's 45 here. Let's see. Ultimate Warrior may not be in here because he was out of wrestling at this point, I believe.
The loss to the Warriors one deep and he is
Maybe in here. Let's see. He's not in here under Ultimate Warrior.
He is, however, on the internet.
Oh, yeah, that works too, I
July
guess.
16th, 1959 was
59,
yeah.
so 69, 79, 89, 99. Okay, so he's 39 and Hogan's 45 here. I just want to note that so you'll consider how impossible their physiques are.
Does he have a tattoo of Saturn on his arm?
I'm not sure what that is.
I'm sure it's the Clinic Saturn. Like the child drew it.
Yeah, but look at the Warriors. On his knees, trying to get back to the center of the ring. Hogan got him down there.
Oh, did I miss some stuff here? Jesse says Lex Luger was scheduled first wrestler on a video game, and I mixed him up with Lex Luthor. I knew Hogan crossed over to TV, so I thought Luger was fighting Batman.
That's not.
Lex Luger, another one of my favorites. I think he's underrated. We don't hear a lot of talk about him nowadays, but I thought he was always very talented. He says the first not scheduled. Oh, I see. Okay.
But he can turn it up.
And the Warrior gets to his feet. Oh,
Lex Luger was the first wrestler on a video game, and I mixed him up with Lex Luthor. Okay.
kick to the gut ends all of that effort, and what it's done here. It's had the Warriors made phenomenal.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, one of my favorite video games ever, WCW NWO Revenge, came out the same month as this. It came out like a week before this show, or 2 weeks before the show, actually. And it was a sequel to WCW versus NWO World Tour. And it was so much, which that game was great, and it was so much better than that game. And it has such a great roster, because think of everybody who's in WCW at this point. It didn't have Warrior on it, but I mean, Hogan, Savage, Hall, Nash, the Steiner Brothers, Sting, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Conan, Lex Luger, Psychosis, Ultimo Dragon, Chris Jericho, Roddy Piper, just et cetera, et cetera. Just a very cool roster, a great selection of guys to choose from. And the gameplay is so much like a real wrestling match. It's crazy. They nailed it. AKI, the company who made that, they nailed it. Great great game. What?
I just read something interesting about this pay-per-view.
Okay, what?
So its runtime was longer than normal pay-per-views, and a lot of feeds when it originally aired, it cuts off in the main event.
Yeah. Yeah, as Kay just said, right, this pay-per-view, it's long. It's just over 3.5 hours, I believe. Speaking of which, if you're not caught up with where we are at 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 28 seconds. And the whole pay per view is 3 hours, 16 minutes.
But that's what stuff cut out.
So yeah, so usually on the pay per view, they used to give the companies whatever who ran pay per view, they used to give the wrestling companies 3 hours, a 3 hour block. But this, as Kay said, this pay per view, and they usually never went past 3 hours. They usually would be closer to like 2 hours 50 minutes, 2 hours 55 minutes. But this one was longer and right during the main event of Goldberg versus DDP, the feed went out, and so a lot of people who paid what the hell ever it was, you know, $40 or whatever, a lot of people who paid that got the main event cut off and did not see the end of the fucking main event, which they hyped so much, you know. So the next night, I think those people ended up getting a refund. I believe so, but so many people missed it that the next night on Monday Nitro, they showed the Goldberg and DDP match for free on Nitro, which that was pretty cool. That's, you know, the best thing they could do, I guess. We got the Giant, and he kicked Hogan in the face, and the Warrior clotheslined him out of the ring.
That was a fun clothesline noise you made.
And the Warrior takes on Stevie Ray, and the Warrior takes on Vincent. It's nice to see a Vincent.
Is that Virgil?
Yes.
Okay, he was in the ring earlier, but you didn't mention him, and so I thought maybe that wasn't who I thought I was seeing.
Oh.
Not in this match, but when the NWO came out before.
Yeah. And he covers him for some reason, even though he sees that the fucking ref is knocked out.
It's all that shaking. It's like shaken baby syndrome, but for adults.
Nick Patrick is knocked out, who was the NWO referee, but I think we're all just supposed to forget that at this point, so who knows. Backdrop by Hogan. Yeah, this pay-per-view, very strange. I've enjoyed it, but some strange things going on. Yeah, like I said, this match is oddly booked. A singles wrestler won the tag team titles. We had to see Disco Inferno wrestle twice. We saw Rick Steiner wrestle twice, and Scott Steiner. Some strange stuff, and there's a number of talking segments, which, you know, usually pay-per-views don't have those. If they do, they're very short, maybe 30 seconds or a minute. But they had a number of talking segments on this pay-per-view. Yeah, just some odd things going on at this show. Nick Patrick is trying to physically remove Hogan. Whooping him with that weight belt. Yeah, the Warrior, he was like invincible up to this point in WCW, and now he's getting the shit beat out of him by Hulk Hogan. Hollywood Hogan, excuse me.
What are you calling?
Hulk Hogan.
He couldn't go by that name?
No, I think at this point he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Warrior just keeps rolling. He's doing the Orange Cassidy. What the fuck is going on in this match?
Stayed one step ahead of him, avoiding 2 elbow drops, and then.
Yeah, like I said, this match has a terrible reputation. I've not seen this in a long time.
Hogan knows he's got to get to his feet. And he is the Warrior.
Someone's just yelling, "Come on, Jim," to the Ultimate Warrior.
What's his name?
Jim.
Not on Jim what?
Jim Hellwig.
But he missed blind rage is what it is.
Well, now it's Warrior, but it used to be Jim Hellwig.
Oh, now he's Jim Warrior, or he's just Warrior?
He's just Warrior.
Huh.
Yes. And also, at this point, Ultimate Warrior's running a very conservative political blog. And, like, he was a homophobe, too. Which is very, distressing to find out, because I like the Ultimate Warrior. The stuff he wrote, you could tell he was a very intelligent guy, but just he was badly, oh, Hulk Hogan's getting some fire set up here. He's got the lighter. He's sweating all over everything. He's got the flash paper. And doesn't work. And there it goes, right up.
The crowd is laughing at him.
Yeah, right up, fell under the ring. And the Ultimate Warrior's kicking the stuff out. Hollywood Hogan has failed.
He tried to blind him. He tried to
He was gonna burn that.
That was terrible.
So, yeah. I'm sure that was supposed to be a big spot in the match, yeah.
To finish your thoughts, Warrior, so you don't end on how intelligent a homophobe is, you might want to continue that. But
Oh, you could tell he was a very, very intelligent man. Very intelligent, but just badly misguided. Yeah, badly misguided.
That was a fortunate turn of events there.
And kind of not living in the real, in reality either. Very strange person. The Warrior.
Oh my.
Oh, and there's a punch to the cock. The ultimate cock. And a clothesline to the ultimate throat. We're going to see a leg drop. Leg drop. Is that the finish? Is that it? Hulk Hogan had to get his revenge on the Ultimate Warrior. Here comes his nephew, Horace Hogan. And I thought I saw Eric Bischoff back there, too. Oh, shit. He's getting pumped up. He's warrioring up. Oh, dear. Hogan is bleeding from the face. He's down. He's down. He's down. Tell you, they never booked Hogan to look this. Oh shit! Oh, here's Horace Hogan. Oh, he smacks the Warrior with a chair. Here we go. Is that it? That's it. That match wasn't as bad as people say.
was he related to Hulk Hogan for reals?
Yes, that's it. I believe. I'm pretty sure that is his real nephew. Yes. He was known as Horace Older, and then he changed his name to Horace, and then he changed it to Horace Hogan.
Yes, he is his real nephew.
Gotta be it.
And Hollywood Hogan gets his revenge from WrestleMania 6. Beats the Ultimate Warrior. They brought him into WCW just so Hogan could get revenge on him. Warrior was the only person who beat him who he did not get his win back.
Dan Malenko's father, Boris Malenko, trained Horace Hogan.
Huh. Oh, shit. They're going to set him on fire.
That's exactly what that is. Dr. Hunter's coming with security as Hogan had the light on his hand.
Yeah, that match wasn't great, but it was not as bad as people make it out to be. Not at all.
Wasn't this the match people were like waiting years for this?
Yeah,
That might be part of it.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it lived up to people's expectations, but it's fine.
Also had that really awesome moment where Hogan blinded the Ultimate Warrior with his flash paper.
That was not so great.
I know I'm speaking for all of us, being broadcasters.
Do you want more trivia?
Maybe one of the lowest attempts. Thank goodness it was an attempt. Lowest attempt.
Oh, and they cut it off.
Would you agree with that?
I still can't get over Horace.
Yeah, give us some more trivia.
I thought it was obvious.
All right. I'm gonna use my discretion and skip some stupid questions.
Okay.
Which WWF legend debuted at Halloween Havoc 1996?
I thought just like
You said WWF legend
Yes.
debuted at Halloween Havoc '96.
Yes.
not only a big night,
Hmm.
but a big weekend here at the gigantic city of entertainment, the MGM Grand. It's a,
WWF legend debuted at Halloween Havoc '96.
it's been nothing less than
It's a good question.
a fan weekend.
I don't remember Halloween Havoc '96 very well. Oh, we got Michael Buffer here. I don't want to talk
Yeah,
over
don't
Michael Buffer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nevada. It's time for the WCW NWO Halloween Havoc final match of the evening. Sanctioned by the
You're not
Nevada
sending
State
me that?
Athletic Commission Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem. Commissioner Luke Mack, Lorenzo Fertitta, Glenn Carano, and Dr. James Nave. Executive Director Mark Ratner. Physicians in attendance are Dr. Margaret Goodman and Dr. William Berliner. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Mickey J. And now, this is the moment the world has been waiting for. This match is for the heavyweight championship of the world.
This is probably the best match of the night. I think so.
Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready.
I also have available 10 things WCW fans
No, you're talking about.
here it's done should know about Halloween Havoc 1998.
Oh, 10. Okay, let's hear 10 things WCW fans should know about Halloween Havoc '98. Let's hear them.
Everywhere we go.
Well, first, the author notes that despite having a fantastic card on paper, this is often regarded as one of the worst pay-per-views events in the history of WCW. And that it occurred right before WWE began to win the television rating war against WCW for good. Hogan and Warriors match.
Michael Buffer's talking.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way through the fans and coming to the ring, here is the #1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, the master of the Diamond Cutter, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page.
DDP was super over at this point.
I love DDP.
Yeah, I love DDP.
I am for him.
As well, he
Love him.
Sign says it all. People's
Now can I tell you?
versus the
Yeah,
world
go ahead.
champion.
Okay, go ahead.
Hogan and Warriors match received a negative 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer.
No, that's silly. All right, give us some more.
I gotta scroll. There's a bunch of ads. It's like one of those pages. Oh, there. The feed was lost during the main event, which we already talked about.
Mhm.
It featured the first ever televised Kevin Nash versus Scott Hall match. Hogan avenged his WrestleMania 6 loss. It was the last Halloween Havoc Kevin Nash ever competed in.
Here it comes. One of the best entrances in the history of pro wrestling.
This is an intimidating sight. If you're an opponent,
Due to the feed getting cut during this match, it led to the Most ever watched match in Monday Nitro history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DDP and Goldberg. Yeah, the next night.
This was also the only Halloween Havoc Eddie Guerrero did not compete in.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And
Yeah, they didn't use Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit at this show, and they had them both on the roster, and they had Rey Mysterio fucking Jr. on the roster and didn't use him, and Psychosis. A lot of great guys they didn't use, but they used the fucking Disco Inferno
twice. They were forced to refund thousands of dollars because of the fee getting cut. And also, this was the first time that the Warrior and Meng were on the same show in 7 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
And Hogan burned his own face during this match.
X.
Yeah.
It's the pumpkin. The giant pumpkin.
He singed his eyebrows and his mustache.
Oh. It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But a little funny. There he is. Such a good entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just make him look like the fucking man.
Yeah.
And he should not be inhaling that smoke. He's definitely going to get cancer from that or some shit. Yeah.
I think about it because you know how like that one like rock star blamed his cancer not on like cigarettes but on like all the fog machine fog.
Who?
I don't remember.
Michael Buffer.
The man whose powers has crushed 154 consecutive opponents without a loss. The man is the reigning and defending, undefeated, undisputed WCW and WO heavyweight champion of the world. The man is Goldberg. He's ready with the eyes.
So much interest in this matchup from so many standpoints. Sure, it's the unpredictable nature of the Diamond Cutter against the Jackhammer. But think back to the history, the long-term history between these two, and the fact that DDP was so instrumental in not only bringing Goldberg to WCW, but into professional wrestling.
As the bell sounds, Goldberg, you're going to tell us about People's Champion. Well, the fact is that when we call DDP the People's Champion, it's because he is a man that came from literally nothing to go to the ring and champion their cause. He's not the world champion, but the people identify with him. He's not the big physical wrestler of Goldberg. He's just an everyday kind of man. He's been a sensation, and that's why the People's Champion.
Jesse says Bill Kidman was very underrated. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah. We were saying that earlier. He's underrated for sure in WCW. When Vince Russo showed up in '99, he realized how talented he was and put him in the stable, the Filthy Animals, with Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio Jr. I think who else was in that? But yeah, the Filthy Animals were, I mean, all over Nitro at that point. Yeah, like sometimes they were in the most segments on Nitro. They've got a real push. So yeah, Vince Russo realized it, but he apparently was the only booker who realized it.
Did you ever answer the Legend in 1996 question?
No, who is it? Who's the legend?
Who's the WWF?
WWF legend who debuted at Halloween Havoc '96.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It is Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh wow, Rowdy Piper. Okay, damn, that's a good question. Jesse says people remember Tori Wilson more than Billy Kidman. Yes, unfortunately, you're right. Yeah, she was gorgeous. I don't blame them, but come on now. Yeah, I hear you.
One of two ways to go: either the ropes, which he does for the break, the other way to try and close the gap and bring his hands together. Jawbreaker stunned him.
Yeah, that's all it did. You notice he went down to his knees?
Yeah, this is like the first match where Goldberg had to wrestle a real match. And I know DDP was very particular about his matches. He wanted every little thing planned out. And so I believe I've read that's what he did with Goldberg. Every little thing was planned out about this match.
I'm going to work off him to make a mistake. Think about it, Diamond. He doesn't think about it. That Diamond was trying to use the element of surprise that time, and it didn't surprise him at all. It surprised DDP.
Tiger King really took a page out of Diamond Dallas Page's book. didn't he?
Yes, he did, I think. Yeah.
Will come down to a mistake. That's what it could come down to. The top 12 on the page.
Crowd's just a little dead for this match.
I did just see Hogan burn his own face off.
Yeah, but they get into it. As I remember, they get into it for sure.
Hooking with a side headlock is not going to work.
Shoulder block from Goldberg sent DDP to the floor.
I think they're just kind of confused seeing Goldberg wrestle a real match. Bam.
Spinning neckbreaker. Look how quickly Page follows up.
But look how Goldberg trudges around on all fours to try to get back up even when he's dazed. And he holds his ground. Page with a good counter move to that. Russian left.
Mm.
He's got a cover. He's got a two.
And if you're not synced up with us, one more time, we are at 3 hours, 8 minutes, and 22 seconds.
Thanks for sticking with us through this very interesting pay-per-view.
Yeah. You've not enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed parts of it. Parts would have been very good.
Well, we watched 89 earlier, and we watched 98.
98 is
Now,
better.
98's better?
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
On like every level.
Yeah, we watched the first Halloween Havoc earlier, 1989, to see if we wanted to include it in our watch-alongs this season.
The answer is no.
Yeah, the answer is no. There was like one good match, yeah, or two.
And there were 2 skulls, 1 fake hatchet, and maybe like 5 cobwebs and some burlap that caught fire accidentally.
As I remember it, I think Halloween Havoc 90 comes with way more decorations. I believe so.
Take your word for it. I don't remember which ones we did last year.
Last year we did 93, 95.
Oh, Ripley's not wearing her kerchief.
Not yet.
Halloween kerchief.
Those are the only ones I can say for sure. We did like 3 or 4. I'm sure we did 93 and 95.
Which is the monster truck one? We did that one.
That was 95. Yeah, where Hulk Hogan and the Giant both had giant monster trucks, and then Hulk Hogan pushed the Giant off of a building.
And we did the spin the wheel, make the deal one.
Well, that was 93, yeah.
Is that also the Rey Mysterio
That was 97. Did we watch that one?
with Mysterio and Guerrero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we did 93. I think we did 94. So I think we did last year 93, 94, 95, 97.
That's a lot. Did we really do that many? Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it. Anyways, if you want to see any of those, just look back on our YouTube or go to nobonesabout.com. They're all there. And
Easier to find on YouTube.
easier to find on YouTube, she says. Yeah, just go to, September and October of 2023. And, it works the same as this, except obviously you can't talk to us. But, just we do the countdown at the beginning, so just press play, and it's like you're watching it with us, except you can't talk to us. But yeah, we had fun, definitely, with those last year.
the best way to stop a runaway truck is step out of the way and let him hit the post. And that's what happened.
And this one's been fun, but I haven't
It may come down to
I haven't decided which ones we're gonna do this year.
Don't forget with Goldberg with the bench, if he's got a bad shoulder.
I'm thinking 1999.
At least you don't think he can. Yeah.
Thinking that.
Is it
I'm not sure which others.
I believe it was the shoulder that hit that very. And it's his right one. Look at the trapezius, the delts on him. He picks him up.
Bam! DDP, top rope clothesline on Goldberg. Yeah, you should put that up and watch this.
The
This is a very good match.
into the referee.
You're going away. Oh, there goes Kay.
It's been 3 hours. Sometimes the girls gotta pee. Leave me alone.
You know what this is like? Remember the movie King Kong where they all had to just shoot him and keep him down? And it took minivan? It's like you have to equivalent of
Oh,
Is that unbelievable or what? Fascinating. Just fascinating.
DDP up first. Pushes to the ground for the diamond cutter.
I get it.
oh, bam! Big spear. I don't know who the crowd's for. I feels like Goldberg, but this is about when DDP was like at the peak of his popularity. I feel like.
Hit the rib bumps. And we could see it.
And both of these were WCW guys who never joined the NWO. Interestingly enough.
To try the spear. But that time it may have been a mistake on that already injured arm.
Feels like almost everyone was in the NWO at some point. Who else was not? Rowdy Piper was not in the NWO. I'm thinking just big wrestlers, main eventers.
First time he hasn't been able to, but I know it. There may be some severe damage to that shoulder.
Gonna try again.
Sure is. I'll set you.
Oh shit. Going for the jackhammer? Nope. Bam! Diamond cutter.
Did Reach use all of his energy to hit him with the diamond cutter. He has not been able to follow up on a pinfall attempt.
I'll start that.
It doesn't beep and it doesn't squeak. Okay, Ripley Dad says no. You can't play like it's not hard.
Later. I promise. Now the crowd's getting in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are. I guess the Hogan Warrior match just like put them down. I don't know what people were expecting from it, but they didn't get it. Oh my goodness. God damn.
Well, aren't they supposed to be like at least kayfabe two of the best ever?
Jackhammer. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, and Goldberg
That was
won.
fast.
Oh, that was his longest match ever.
Oh, okay.
It's a good match.
I can only think right now when I see the end of this report. And I want to tell you right now, that was a remarkable match. The only thing I think of is, my God, I love this guy.
Goldberg keeps the belt. He's 155-0. The crowd's going crazy. Goldberg's biggest challenge yet. Well, I don't know. His biggest challenge was either Hogan or DDP. Yeah, I couldn't say for sure which one. Maybe DDP. I might say DDP.
About what?
Who was Goldberg's biggest challenge up to this point?
Mm-hmm. I love DDP.
Yep.
It's not using ball bats to try to take people to the hospital or try to burn people. It's about the one-on-one competition for the title.
Oh shit. Here Jesse says, I saw Goldberg, Sting, and Flair versus Buff Bagwell, Conan, and Jeff Jarrett at the War Memorial for Thunder when I was a kid. Awesome. Hearing Shivani's voice never gets old. I agree. Yeah, when I was younger, I didn't like Shivani for some reason, but now I really enjoy him. Yeah, I think he's a very good announcer. And he's done everything. He did NWA, WCW, now he's AEW.
Well, you
I
said
feel like he was in very shortly. I feel like he was in WWE.
you said he used to get all the moves wrong.
I feel like he used to get moves wrong all the time in the 90s. Yeah.
Didn't you heckle him?
I heckled him a little. I had front row seats to it was either Nitro or Thunder, or maybe it was a taping, like they did one live and the other taped. I don't know. But I had front row seats and I heckled Tony Schiavone a little. Like I was literally probably about 4 feet from Tony Schiavone.
I bet you're on the. If it was a taping.
Oh,
We
I'm
could-
sure we're on it. Yeah, I don't remember what date it was.
Gosh. Like
I'm sure we're on it. Yeah.
like high school Asa on TV.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to find it.
Well,
It was-
yeah,
it was
it was high
Phil?
school. It was definitely high school.
Or it was at
I think it was, yeah, Winston. I
Huh.
think so.
interesting.
So I think it was like 2000. Oh, it had to be, yeah. Well, it could have been early 2001. They still existed, but it was either 2000 or 2001.
It was Nitro.
I think it was Nitro, and I think they might have taped Thunder also. I can't remember.
And those are all.
The only thing I remember about it, I remember Scott Steiner was there, because I remember seeing him in person. I was just like, oh my God. I saw him, and I remember Tony Schiavone was the announcer. That's all I remember about that card.
The internet is my friend.
Oh Lord. But yeah, Goldberg, Sting, and Flair, that's an awesome 6-man team there. He says, have you guys given your takes on MVP arriving in AEW yet?
We haven't.
I don't think we did.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, I thought he was great the other night. I think he was incisive and funny, and you know, kind of taunting AEW with what he's going to bring in. You know, I thought it was a great debut. Do I want to see Bobby Lashley in AEW? Not really.
I didn't want to see him ever.
Yeah, I didn't want to see him ever. He's strong, but I mean, he doesn't do anything for me as a heel or as a face. Like, I just don't care about him. Shelton Benjamin is better. That's cool. You know, it'd be cool with him coming to AEW, but it seems like, you know, from what people are saying, you know, it seems like Benjamin and Lashley are coming to AEW, and I guess I understand. I mean, I guess I understand why they signed Lashley. He's been a world champion. You know, he's a high-profile wrestler. I'm sure he has fans, but I'm not one of them. I don't know.
Was it possibly 2001?
Yeah, possibly. Yes. Eric, no Lord. Eric Tate says, I still miss Bobby Heenan a lot. Yeah, I hear you, Eric. I mean, he was like, I grew up with Bobby Heenan on WWF in the 90s. I used to love him on All American Wrestling on Sundays, and of course on Raw on Mondays. But he really got to do his shtick on All American Wrestling, which I think was on USA on Sunday afternoons. But yeah, I love Bobby Heenan. And then he went to WCW. He was great. I mean, just he was so good at selling what you're watching. You know, and really getting the heels over, and getting the faces over too. You know, just like saying things that blatantly are not true. You know, so that the fans can be like, "That shit's not true." You know, I like him, and yeah, he was very good at what he did. Bobby Heenan supposedly was what I've read. He was drunk all the time, very often in his later years. I don't know. That's kind of sad, but I remember that Nash was there. Ric Flair. That's when Ric Flair was the commissioner of WCW. I believe that's the show.
Can I? So I want to mute it so it's not.
Well, Kay found the WCW where I'm in the front row. So Jesse said the subtle mention of doing quote business was cool, and I love Bobby Lashley. All right, but I want him to cost. But I want him to cost or Joe Hendry at Bound for Glory. I guess want him to cost Joe Hendry at Bound for Glory. Is that TNA? Is that a TNA show? Or Joe Hendry? What is it? He's TNA. He's
He
TNA.
goes between companies. He's one of the few
Oh.
people that's allowed to go between companies. I
Yeah,
believe.
I'm sorry. We don't watch TNA. I'm sorry. I got nothing against it. I just time. We only watch nowadays. We only watch AEW and
Ring of Honor pay-per-views.
Ring of Honor pay-per-views. Yeah, yeah. This is definitely the one I was at. But here we're gonna do our thing.
I'm ready.
All right,
Well,
best
once
match,
Once I look at your list, I'm ready.
best match, worst match rating for the whole show, which is gonna be a weird rating. It was a weird show. Some things were good, some things were strange. Like, why did they give one man the tag titles? Hogan and Warrior was a little odd. I kind of enjoyed it, honestly. I enjoyed seeing those two in the ring. I mean, it wasn't a 5-star match or anything, but I don't see what the. It wasn't the worst fucking match of all time. It definitely wasn't negative 5 stars like Meltzer said. That's just a ridiculous rating to give something.
So I'm gonna say best match was the Chris Jericho and Raven match, only because I had to pee really bad and I didn't see the 3 seconds I was gone is how long the Goldberg and Page match seemingly last. I saw like the first few minutes of it and then the last 45 seconds of it maybe. Because I think had I seen the whole thing, that would have probably taken it. But I'm going with Jericho and Raven. Worst match. I'm gonna go with Perry Saturn. Pinning Lodi? How do you say it?
Lodi.
Okay.
It's Lodi, New Jersey, but the wrestler is Lodi.
I see.
See? It's
We're
short.
keeping our eye for Isakuni.
Yeah, this is yeah.
All right. And then overall rating. Don't we normally rate like the Halloween? We don't just do an overall rating.
Yeah.
Normally.
Overall rating of the show.
No, we do. We rate when we do Halloween Havoc watch songs. We rate the Halloween decorations.
Oh yes, we
And
do.
we do like the costumes.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Theming
You're right.
Stuff. So do you remember what the categories are?
No, but what are they? Don't play it now. We'll see in a minute.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's rate out of 5 the overall. Let's rate the costumes, like the costumes / wrestler attire
On Halloweeniness,
on Halloweeniness.
I will give it 2 bones out of
Exactly.
5.
Yeah, I give it 2 bones out of 5. Not enough. Ultimate Warrior had orange trunks. Hoovy had it orange and purple. He looked cool. He was Halloween-y.
The Nitro Girls had like wigs and stuff for that one brief dance segment. I'll count those as costumes.
And cowboy. Cow women.
Cow women.
Cow women.
What world do we call cowgirls cow women?
Cow women.
We don't say cow men. We don't say cowboys.
I couldn't think of the word.
Yes, the cow.
Cow women. Okay. The cow women. What else? Who else was Halloween-y?
Well, Jericho, I think these are just his regular pants, but he had the whole like lion claws coming out of his pants, so I'm gonna count that.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior, did we say him? He was
Yeah.
very Halloween-y.
Yeah.
That was about it, I think.
That was about it.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Buff Bagwell came out in a full Bill Clinton costume.
True.
Including mask, so we gotta give him credit for that.
That was Halloween-y.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for Halloweeniness of the costumes / wrestler attire,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it 1.5 bones out of 5. So now for Halloween presentation, like backgrounds and things like that, and
I'm gonna give it 4.5 bones.
Wait, what? Oh, the fucking entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Jesus Christ. I wasn't even thinking. Fuck yeah. Five bones out of 5. That gargoyle was giant pumpkin. Yes, 5 bones out of 5.
I'm only taking a half a bone deduction because the intro to the show itself, the video package, not very Halloweeny.
Not
at all.
Halloween.
Minimal to no Halloweeniness.
Yeah. The 93 one had a great video.
Is that the one where like it's Tony Schiavone like at his door with the trick or treaters? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. After we're done here, you guys are already on the network. Go look at Halloween Havoc 93. Just start it. Watch the first like 3 minutes.
That's good.
It's a good opening.
Yeah.
It's a very good
Very
opening with
spooky.
Tony Schiavone and trick or treaters. Let's see. Jesse says George the Animal Steel and the Animal Batista versus Jake the Snake Roberts and the Viper Randy Orton. Take my money. And Mark G. Stewart. The stage was cool. Yeah, welcome in, Mark. Yeah, that stage was fucking awesome. You're definitely right. Yeah, I love it.
A smoke exhaling demon holding a freaking giant inflatable jack-o'-lantern.
A giant jack-o'-lantern that says WCW NWO on it.
And brought to you by Snickers.
Well, oh wait, I'm gonna take a half. I'm gonna have to take a half a bone off because of the fucking Snickers ad. Yeah.
It's Halloween. You can't take a candy deduction.
Okay. All right. Good point.
Thank you.
5 bones.
Yes.
5 bones out of 5. Yeah.
I'm still taking a half bone deduction for the intro to the show though.
Yeah. I'm going with
Not
the
Halloween.
They didn't do any other Halloween decoration.
But they did do other than what?
The entrance.
Yeah, the entrance was awesome though. It had gravestones. It had those like where they went? Not sarcophagus. What's the thing with like the mausoleums? And when they had like the names pop up, it had that little thing that you called a ghoul wearing the like top hat or whatever.
True. Yeah, but they didn't have any like physical decorations aside from the entrance way.
Where did you want them? Like on the ring posts?
Yeah, on the ring posts, maybe on the front of the announcer's desk.
They did have orange ropes one year, remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was like 1990, I think.
And some years the announcers are in costumes.
Yeah, but we already covered the costumes.
I'm just pointing that out.
I gave it 1.5 bones. You gave it 2.
Mm-hmm.
So for Halloween. I hope everybody's still here. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck happened.
Sorry.
That was weird. That's never happened before. So for Halloween decorations, 5 bones out of 5 for me. 4.5 bones out of 5 for you.
Yes, yeah.
So we got costumes, decorations. What else do we usually do?
The overall show, which is why I knew that.
Okay, best match, worst match, overall show.
I already gave my best match, worst match. I just need to do an overall show ranking.
Worst match. Perry Saturn beat Lodi in a squash match. Yeah, I don't know why that was on a pay-per-view. Totally unnecessary. I guess it was just to fill time, but they went over 3 hours.
Yeah, it doesn't make
sense. I don't know what the fuck the point of that match was. That was the worst match, definitely. And best match, it's tough. It's a little tough. Oof, man, it's tough. I'm gonna go with Bret Hart versus Sting. I enjoyed that match. It was cool getting to see the two of them fight each other. You know that. I mean, if Bret is WCW at this point, but it felt like WWF versus WCW. I mean, I see Bret Hart, and I think. Well, nowadays I think WCW, but like back then, 1998, if you see him, I thought WWF, definitely.
Wait, you nowadays think Bret Hart, you think WCW?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't.
How long was he in WCW?
2 years.
And how long was he in WWE? Or F at that
11 years about. 11 or 12 years.
Yeah, that's crazy that those 2 years stick out to you more than 11. That's very strange.
Yeah, Bret Hart versus Sting for me. It wasn't amazing or anything. None of the matches were great.
Mm-hmm.
But the three that stood out for me, some of them were hard to rate. There were some strange matches. But the ones that stood out to me were Jericho beating Raven, keeping the world television title. Obviously, Goldberg beating DDP to keep the world title.
Mhm.
You know, Goldberg's best match of his career, I think. And DDP looked good. You know, I'm sure like I said, I'm sure he set up that whole match and he did a very good job because Goldberg at this point did not have a lot of ability, we'll say. Didn't have a lot of moves and had never used more than like 4 moves before. So it was cool getting to see. Yeah, so world title match, TV title match, and US title match were the three that stood out to me. And Bret Hart versus Sting, the best, yeah. Even though Hart won by submission, or excuse me, Hart won by knockout because he did something to Sting. I don't remember now. He hit Sting with something. But that was the best match to me. Overall rating. Okay, what do you get it?
I'm giving it 3.5 bones.
3.5 bones?
Yeah. No, like you said, never any like jaw dropping matches.
Mhm.
I prefer the main event from 1989.
Okay. Is that it? That's all you got to say?
That's all I got to say.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, no, there were a bunch of fucking matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches, I think. Let's see. Jesse says, who had the better sharpshooter, Brett or Sting? I said earlier in the show, I said we were talking about that actually, and I said Brett. Yeah, you know, Sting kind of he stands up a little more when he does the Scorpion Deathlock, as he called it, and Brett, you know, sits down more and kind of pulls back on the legs more. He looks more intense when he's doing it, so I would definitely say Brett. Yeah, I forget who invented it. I'm not sure honestly. I feel like Bret Hart probably did, but I'm really not sure. I'm not sure. I think it was either Bret Hart or Sting, but I'm really not sure who invented it. Be interesting. Find out. Jesse also says Sting looks more locked in, but Bret gets low and mad. Austin pass out. Yeah, yeah. That Jesse's talking about WrestleMania 13. One of the best WWF matches of all time. Yeah, if not the best, for real. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the match that turned Bret Hart heel and turned Stone Cold face at the same time, where Bret Hart puts Stone Cold in a sharpshooter. Stone Cold is bleeding out of his face, out of his head, I should say, onto his face, and yeah, won't submit, and eventually passes out. So Bret wins by knockout, and just a great match. Yeah, great match, great finish. Yeah, very cool match, definitely. But all right, back to you gave it out 3.5 bones
I did.
out of 5.
Mhm.
I gotta give it the same. It really felt in some of the matches like guys were coasting and just not giving their best performances. Um, like in the Hall versus Nash match, I don't know what that was supposed to be. It was very weird. You know, Hall comes in drunk and Nash won't fight him at first. Eventually he does, but then eventually Nash walks out on the match. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be, and I really don't like them using the Scott Hall drunk angle when he's really a drunk. That's really fucked up, I think. Um, but yeah, just some really mid matches, like Disco Inferno versus Hoovy. Hoovy looked good, but Disco Inferno sucks. Alex Wright versus Finley was pretty good. Perry Saturn versus Lodi, terrible. Kidman versus Disco, pretty good, but Disco sucks. Rick Steiner beating Scott Steiner and the Giant was kind of fun, but it's weird having one guy win the tag titles. Hall versus Nash, like I said, what was that supposed to be? Hart versus Sting, good. Wrath versus Ming, I enjoyed it, but it was too short. Jericho versus Raven, pretty good. Hulk Hogan versus Warrior. Way better than people give it credit for, but not great. Just kind of mid, really. And world title match was pretty good. So we got some pretty goods and like what the fuck and some mids. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it. And the horror. Oh, the horror icon.
Can I jump in here?
No, the horror icon who showed up and they edited it out
It was
on the
Nitro.
WWF network.
I googled it.
It was on Nitro.
Yeah, it wasn't on his pay per view. It was on. He shows up on Nitro.
Oh, I swore it was on his pay per view. Well, fuck. It was on Nitro apparently. What, the next night?
It said leading up to Halloween Havoc.
Leading up to Halloween Havoc.
Sorry, that's what I was gonna say before you.
It was Chucky.
Yeah.
So Chucky was like stalking Rick Steiner,
Mhm.
right? It was Rick Steiner.
Yeah, it was Rick Steiner. Yeah.
He was like stalking Rick Steiner, and they even had Chucky on the big screen,
Mhm.
like taunting Rick Steiner and shit.
It was Bride of Chucky was coming out.
Right, exactly. Bride of Chucky, the excellent film, directed by Ronnie Yu, came out in 1998, just around this time, and they advertised the fuck out of it, and even to the point of having Chucky on Monday Nitro, which was kind of like having RoboCop on WCW back in the day.
Except way more awesome.
It was way more awesome. Yeah, it was very cool. I love Chucky.
I love Chucky.
It was ridiculous, but it was very cool also at the same time. Okay, but apparently it was on Monday Nitro. It was not edited out. Excuse me. Okay, my rating finally. I'm gonna give it 3 bones out of 5. Like I said, just some mid performances from a number of guys, some matches, several matches that had no business being on a pay per view, and Hogan versus Warrior was hyped up, and it was kind of average, slightly above average, I'd say. And Goldberg and DDP was good. It wasn't as good as I remembered it, but I mean, it was like 5 bones. Oh, I didn't give my bones on the individual matches. I'll do that real quick. World Television Title match. Jericho beat Raven by submission to the Lion Tamer. Good match. 4 bones out of 5. Wrath pinned Ming after the meltdown. I enjoyed seeing them fight. A little too short. Just give them a little time. But 3.5 bones out of 5. Cruiserweight title #1 contender match. Disco Inferno beat Juvi Guerrera after a jumping pile driver. 3 bones out of 5. Disco fucked up a number of things. Alex Wright pinned Fit Finlay. I enjoyed these two fighting. The crowd didn't seem to, but I enjoyed it. Again, too short. 3.5 bones out of 5. Perry Saturn beat Lodi in a squash match. We don't rate those. World Cruiserweight title match. Kidman successfully defended against Disco Inferno with a shooting star press. I'll give it 3.5 bones out of 5. Again, just Kidman looked good. Disco Inferno sucks. World Tag Team title match. Rick Steiner beat Scott Steiner and the Giant by himself, apparently, after Buff Bagwell turned on Rick Steiner during the match. I'm going to give that one 1.5 bones out of 5. That doesn't make any sense. Scott Hall beat Kevin Nash by countout. When they were fighting, it was good, but the rest of the match was just kind of confusing, I thought. 2 bones out of 5. United States title match. Bret Hart beat Sting by knockout. 4 bones out of 5. Hogan pinned the Warrior after Horace Hogan hit Warrior with a steel chair. Seemed a very anticlimactic ending to the Warrior, who's supposed to be this awesome character who came back to wrestling after all these years. But like I said, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed seeing them back in the ring. It wasn't amazing or anything, but I enjoyed seeing them fight. I didn't think it was as terrible as everybody says. 3 bones out of 5. Nothing great. World title match. Goldberg beat DDP with the jackhammer. 4 bones out of 5. So, like I said, some mid stuff, nothing too great. But those are my rankings, and overall, like I said, just kind of I don't think it was, like Kay said, people think of it as one of WCW's worst pay-per-views. No way. But it was kind of mid. What did I say? Three bones. I'm gonna say 3.5 bones. Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. 3.5 bones. That's fair. All right, and Jesse says, speaking of horror, how cool is it that Tom Savini helped Bray Wyatt create his mask? Yeah, that's so fucking
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Poor Wyatt looked so fantastic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of horror again, and Chucky, apparently there were some Halloween Havocs involving Chucky in 2021 and in 2022. Chucky hosts segments of Halloween Havoc.
22, there was not a Halloween Havoc.
Yes, it was.
No, 21.
NXT Halloween Havoc 2022. I read that.
Did NXT exist in 2022?
What? It's 2024 right now. What
Oh,
year are you
fuck, I'm
thinking of?
fucking
Jesus Christ.
Dumb as fuck. I was thinking of 2001.
Oh my God, no, that's what the 2 in front of the 1.
That's how old I am.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 2001.
God, yeah.
And
Anyway,
2002.
Anyway, if you haven't watched the new series Chucky, by new I mean like the last few years, it's fucking rad. You should check it out. It's on Peacock. Oh my God, it's awesome.
It's
like
awesome.
bloody and there's cursing and it's hilarious. And they keep surprising us. Like there's been like maybe one iffy episode, but the rest I think have been really solid. But Chucky kills Liv Morgan in like an ad segment on the Chucky TV show, and so I guess they had a partnership with WWE because he hosts 2 Halloween Havocs and for NXT.
I was not aware of that.
I mean, we don't watch the NXT ones.
I'm gonna now. I'm gonna see what Chucky did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Apparently,
I had no idea.
2022, he participates in these spin the wheel, make the deal segments, and then 2021 he like scares Grayson Waller or something.
Yeah, I have no interest in NXT, but I have an interest in Chucky for sure. Yeah, I will check that out. And Jesse says NXT, has adopted WCW events like Halloween Havoc and Great American Bash, which it's cool, but I've seen NXT a couple times and it just didn't do it for me.
We'll check it out.
I think the booking is bad. I know I might be in the minority. I think the booking is bad on it, really bad on it. And I think the action, some of the matches have no business being on television. That's my take on it. I know a lot of people enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, great. But yeah, I like at least that they're keeping Halloween Havoc alive in some way. But for me, it should be WWE Halloween Havoc. I mean, make it with the big stars. Give it, I want to see things like the gargoyle with the pumpkin and shit like that, and make it a big deal. That's me. Or just have AEW make a Halloween show. They did one year. They didn't make a big deal out of it, but they had a Halloween show one year. So yeah, let's do that, AEW. And Jesse says, I like NXT because, in my opinion, they utilize the women's division the best. And if you see a rematch, it still feels fresh. Okay, cool. I do know they utilize the women's division more than anywhere, it seems. So that's cool, yeah. It's good to have a training ground, that's for sure. Yeah, and I know some people love it. Some of our friends really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I haven't seen much. Maybe I haven't seen enough to judge, but just what I've seen, I didn't like really. But folks, that's going to be it for us. But I'm glad you like it, Jesse, and keep enjoying it. That's going to be it for us. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is our first Halloween Havoc watch along
For this year.
We're going to do more. I don't know how many more, but several more.
Mm-hmm. And spooky movies.
And a spooky movie or two, yeah.
With featuring wrestlers.
They live. Yeah. They Live will be one of them, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper.
It's awesome. John Carpenter.
Yeah, if you've not seen it, it's awesome. Yeah. So
if you've not seen it, you should wait and watch it with us.
Exactly. Wait and watch it with us. All right. What day is it?
It's Friday.
Tomorrow night we're doing a WCW.
Nope.
Fucking Jesus! We're doing an AEW Collision watch along.
Grand Slam Collision.
Right. Oh yeah, Grand Slam Collision. It's going to be K Fabulous, myself, our friend Dylan from the upcoming Long Island Wrestling Podcast, and hopefully our friend Wolf will join us as well. So we'll have 4 people on the Grand Slam Collision show, which looks like a very good show to me on the card. I heard some people who read the results. I don't know the results,
Oh
but
yeah, don't tell us.
I heard some people who read the results said it was not as good as Dynamite. Said the action went down a little, but whatever. I don't know. I usually don't agree with what most people write on the internet, so I don't give a fuck. But that is what I read. But yeah, we'll be watching it. So come join us. We'll be on at 7:55, 5 minutes before it starts. Tuesday night, as always. AEW Weekly, Tuesday at 7 o'clock every week. Join us and we'll talk about what happened this past week in AEW. And then, of course, Wednesday, we're doing a watch along of AEW Dynamite at 7:55. So come join us for that. And keep an eye peeled on X. That's where I'm going to make the announcement for when we do the other Halloween Havoc watch alongs. And I'll probably announce it on some other places like Instagram and stuff like that.
And you can always subscribe and turn on your notifications so that way when we do go live, you get notified.
Yep. And click like on stuff. Give us 5 stars, whatever they ask. Just tell them we're the best. That stuff really helps a lot. You know, we're trying to grow the show and we want to, and to be able to do more stuff for you and be able to spend some money on the show maybe. But yeah, we need it to grow. So please tell people who like wrestling, tell them about us, tell them about the show, get them to watch. Like I said, rate us, whatever you can, and yeah, that would help us out. So
And thanks for everyone joining us in the chat.
yeah,
I love it when you all talk to us.
oh yeah, thanks to Jesse, to Mark Stewart, to Eric, Steven, yes. Who else do we have? Was that it? That was it.
Yeah.
Thank you all. We enjoyed talking to you always. We love having you. And yeah, keep it. That's our dog. She thinks we're going on a WALK, but she is wrong. Anyways, we love having you. Keep watching us, please. And
We'll see you tomorrow.
and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 7:55 for the Collision Watch Along. Have a great night. Thanks for enjoying Halloween Havoc with us.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.